Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
is on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Now they go empty, and McCaffrey goes right. It is Garoppolo looking. Garoppolo under pressure, throws to the back of the end zone. Caught by Christian McCaffrey. Touchdown! CMC!
Dynamite!
One, just got it snapped in time. Inside handoff. McCaffrey finds a crack. Gets wide. 10, 5, 10. Oh, he got nailed on the goal line. Is he in? He's right on the goal line. What a run by Christian McCaffrey! They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown!
Hey.
Breezy,
Mo's Nose, Season 3, Peachy. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you non-a-talk. We two gorilla silverback, silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time, you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win, the faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk. Nitty gritty, it's the lightest talk.
What's going on, everybody? The Nitty Gritty Niners Talk is back with another overreaction type show. Yes, overreaction, because there was some breaking news that went down today. But first and foremost, I got to shout out. We got my man Zach in the building. What's going on for 49ers High? What's going on, Zach?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. Got a ton of news to get into. I appreciate being on with you guys. It's been a minute, so I'm glad to be here. Unfortunately, we got some kind of sad news to talk about, but we're going to break it all down. I can't wait to hear these takes. Hit like and subscribe to everybody in the chat.
I love it, man. And listen, you guys know this guy down there at the bottom. He's a Sam Darnold fan. We just confirmed it behind the scenes. So he's actually rooting for Sam Darnold. But his name is what? Don't look up. What you looking up for? Don't look. We see Trey Lance, but you said what you said. And you know I'm going to call you out. What you thought I was going to be petty about it? Mike Andrews is in the building. Nothing but Niners is in the building. Make some noise.
What's going on, y'all? Listen, y'all know what it is. Listen, man. I'm here to keep it real. I'm here to keep it real. I don't know how much tongue biting I'm going to do. I'm going to sip my wine, and I'm going to stay on my P's and Q's. But let me tell you, y'all get out of line. I'm lighting y'all asses up. I'm telling you right now. 3 minutes. I'm sorry, Wayne. I'm talking about donkeys. I'm gonna shine a flashlight on the donkeys.
The jackasses. You could say that. There you go. They know what that is.
Mm-hmm. He coming, Breezy. He coming with that fantasy draft energy right now.
Ah!
Oh, so that's hate. Oh, so
I've been talking about Mike all week on every chance I could get.
We getting hate from both.
We starting early.
Right.
Yeah,
we starting early.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zach, what you don't know is we did a fantasy draft, right? And so Mike was pissed off because he had the last pick, right? Which was 12. So
randomly generated.
Right. So Mike puts in the chat, y'all gonna hate me. And I said, oh, Lord, he's gonna do it. And he drafted Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen back to back. He effed up everybody's night.
And it's a keeper league. What?
And you can only you're only gonna be able to keep one player. How about that? Now what that?
Why?
I did. I make the rules.
The league. You can only keep one. You can only keep one player from your squad.
Hey, I got two.
Bet your ass won't draft another quarterback again.
That's not. Hey, we're gonna see
we
how
won't
it
let
falls.
you.
Somebody gonna want to put into the season, just like the Niners need another quarterback. Somebody out there gonna need another. Let me stop jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I like that. That was a dope segue. Mose, Peachy, you guys are here. Thank y'all so much. I know it's late, but we got everybody in here because we need to react. Yes. We need the real reaction. I want y'all to say what the bleep y'all want to say without
Honest
sugarcoating
reactions,
it for no one.
That's right.
Because that's what we do on this episode.
This is nitty gritty, over the top. So do not hold back. Anything you have to say it.
The news. All right, let's talk about the breaking news that went down. Everybody, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on everybody's channel. We are live, probably on 3 or 4 channels right now. If you ain't following Zach, make sure you go to Zach's channel, 49ers Hive, hit the subscribe button. Go to Another Bananas, hit the subscribe button. Go to Mo's Nose, hit the subscribe. Just subscribe, damn it. That's all I'm asking you to do. I ain't asking for nothing else. You give super chats if you like, but please subscribe and hit that like button. That's it. I'm done asking for stuff. All right, here we go. Let's get down to the nitty gritty because the breaking news came out earlier today that the 49ers had made Sam Darnold the backup quarterback. One day after, Kyle Shanahan said that he wasn't going to name a backup quarterback until Week 1. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the news, and then we're going to get into the real gritty of the stuff. Man, everybody got drinks except for me. I'm on a drink diet right now. Who wants to start?
Anybody can start. You know what?
Let's go with our guest. Let's go with Zach.
Yeah, you start, Zach.
Let's do this. All right. So, yeah, I get this this text in the 49ers Hype group chat from my guy Brandon saying, and mind you, my guy can barely type because this is like broken English. And it's like Sam Arnold QB2. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He sends a tweet, Tom Pelissero, talking about Trey Lance is now, 49ers are exploring trade options with Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold has been confirmed quarterback too. Wayne, I had the exact same reaction because I had just heard not even 12 hours or 24 hours prior to that, it was going to be a fluid situation. It was going to be dependent on the opponent, yada, 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 whatever Kyle Shanahan said, which now apparently is BS. I was really shocked by this. And then to find out, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, then to find out Kyle says later on, I knew about 10 days ago, which pushes at the Raider game. So you're telling me you knew after one half of football that Trey Lance ain't it and you want all out. I have a lot of questions, and I can't wait to get you guys' thoughts on them, but I'm shocked. I'm really shocked, and I forget who tweeted it out. It could have been Warren Sharp or maybe somebody else. If they move off of Trey Lance, he will have played the fewest amount of games by any first-round quarterback or any first-round pick ever. 8 games in total that he's played in, and I believe only 4 starts. Insane stuff. Just I really don't have any other words for it. It's insane. It really is insane. What did he do to Kyle Shanahan? That's what I want to know, because this is getting to like personal levels where I'm starting to question what happened behind the scenes at 4949, whatever the hell their address is.
Right.
Bartolo Way 49. Yeah.
Okay, so to piggyback off of what Zach said, because that's perfect going into the only thing that I'm going to say for the moment is I'm just going to open it like this. 49ers moved on from Trey Lance when he got hurt last year.
Interesting.
They already knew that they were going in a different direction. Could it have been because they'd already been down this road, started like with Jimmy Garoppolo, and maybe, they saw, the future, and maybe the future was, that this could continue to, happen. That could be the case. But either way, I do feel like that the 49ers moved on from Trey Lance when he got hurt in the Seattle game last year.
I'm going to take it a step a little higher, and then we'll hear from Mike and Mose. I think the 49ers moved on when they drafted Brock Purdy. I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I think that the Niners moved on when they saw that Brock Purdy was programmable, easily programmable. We talked for years. Is Kyle too controlling of his quarterbacks, right? We've talked behind closed doors on these platforms, and we've said, how come Kyle didn't look at guys like Patrick Mahomes? How come he didn't look at guys like Deshaun Watson? Why didn't he go after guys like TDR or DTR, right? Why not look at Justin Fields, right? And these guys don't just take a snap, drop back, and throw. That's boring to those guys. These guys like to move. These guys like to mix it up a little bit, some more off-script stuff mixed into the pot. You know what I mean? They want to call their own plays, right? You've seen the mic'd up clips of any Chiefs game where Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are calling the plays, and Patrick says, "Hey, remember that play we just worked on Wednesday? Can we got time to do that here?" Imagine a quarterback stopping Kyle and saying, "Hey, let's not do that one. Let's try this one. Can we try?" Kyle would lose his mind. We saw Kyle give the death stare to his head coach when he was just a coordinator. He was just a coordinator in Cleveland.
Yes.
And he almost lost his mind when he said, "Hey, good call. Let's run it here." Kyle was like, and the coach was, "My bad. I trust you. You go ahead. You do what you want to do." Now imagine a quarterback coming in and just having some input. Imagine the quarterback saying, "I know the first read was open, but I thought I can get more in the second read." Kyle don't have time for that. He likes programmable guys. Y'all play Madden? Raise your hand here if you've ever played Madden just at least once before.
Don't step on
just
my
one
point.
time, right? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna shut up. I don't want to step on you. I told you. All I'm saying is this: Kyle Shanahan likes to play Madden. This is as close to having the controller in his hand as he's gonna get. Guys like Patrick Mahomes, guys like Trey Lance,
They would never
guys
work.
like Justin Fields, they are wild cards. They like to move. They like to throw the football down the field. I don't want to do this dink and dunk nonsense. Catch the defense sleeping and all. No. You want the defense to spread out? Let me make them respect the deep ball. No, Kyle wants them to bite forward a little bit. And then we hit them over top. It's a little bit backwards with the way they process stuff. And I think that the moment Brock Purdy stepped on that field, in the middle of that, I can't say the middle, in the beginning of that Dolphins game, he said, "Oh, this kid is literally doing exactly what I say." That's all I need to know.
They had to draft him first, Mike. And so they drafted him for a reason.
And I agree with you, Breezy. And to piggyback off of what everybody's saying, from what Crystal said to what you said to what Mike said, all of it is true. But I think to piggyback off of that again, like I said, the nail in the coffin was when Trey went to Jeff Christensen. Because Mike got the picture up. Jeff Christensen is the one to help him get his mechanics right. And he works with Pat.
That's not a Kyle guy.
So if Trey's mechanics and thought processing is starting to mimic 15, well, then, like Mike said, he's going to get on the field and say, I saw number one, but number two was also open, and I know I can get it there because now my mechanics are good. Because now when I'm sitting in the pocket and I'm bouncing, I know if I see him, I'm having the perfect stance where I can rip this ball. My arm is going to feel good. My foot placement is going to feel good. And guess what? That ball is going to be placed perfectly. And instead of that 8 yards you wanted me to get, I got us 28. And now we're on the other side of the 50. So because he lost that programmable mindset by working with Jeff Christensen, that was the nail in the coffin. Drafting Brock Purdy, signing Sam Darnold, those were all the breadcrumbs that led to this. The nail in the coffin was him actually working on his mechanics because he's seen other quarterback coaches before. Kyle Shanahan has set up other quarterback coaches with before, John Beck, all that other kind of stuff. But none of that stuff worked.
But that's the key. Kyle Shanahan was in control of the quarterback coaches that he set his quarterback up with, and when it
didn't work, Trey went outside the box, let me do this, and it worked. And to Mike's point, now he's no longer programmable. And to get off of this, I love that Mike. I love when we talk with Mike because me and Mike be on the same page with a lot of stuff. So we got to do it more often. But to the Madden point, every freaking year, EA Sports tell us Madden is going to be different. It's going to be better. We've got new features. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we fall for it every single year. And what happens? Madden is the same fucking game every time we load it up in August. And that's what Kyle Shanahan is becoming. Kyle Shanahan is becoming EA Sports. Kyle Shanahan is becoming Madden football. Because every time he gets at that podium, we believe what he says and we buy into what he says. And it's the same old bullshit every single time.
Mike.
Can I shoot my coach a little bit of bail?
Yeah.
As many years as he's been here, that's how many different quarterbacks he's had to start. All I'm going to say is this. It's hard for him to build an offense around a quarterback because the quarterbacks are never available. All he knows that works for certain is his system. Can we fault him for saying, hey, don't come in here trying to change the system, be a cog in the system? That's all. That's my only question to y'all. Just think about it.
You chose this person. You chose the kid. Hold on, because you chose him for a reason. Now you might have thought you could program him and mold him, but you still chose him. He had something that made you say, "Yo, I can probably add this to my system." So when did Kyle have the change of heart on making Trey Lance a part of that system? Okay. If Trey Lance is working on his mechanics, that means he wants to be a better quarterback, but his first thing is to make the big play. That's always going to be his instinct. That's who he is. That's what he does. He's, hey, yo, I see you. Oh, you about to be open. Bent sack, right? Because the offensive line can't block.
Did he just freeze?
I think he did.
Just me?
Because he was getting ready to cook on that point.
He asked why he drafted him then, right? And I see people in the chat saying, Mike, you wrong that he drafted him. Let me tell y'all why he drafted him. Only 12 games experience. He was a freaking controller waiting to be programmed.
I get that, but I get that. But Kyle thought he was controllable plus. There's that caveat. He's controllable, but there is an added benefit. Jimmy Garoppolo was controllable. He just wasn't that good. There were limitations to his game. He couldn't push the ball downfield. He couldn't push the ball outside the numbers. Jimmy Garoppolo had limited area where he could be effective throwing the football. So I'm going to go get Trey Lance. He doesn't have that many games starting. So, right, he is a blank slate of clay that I can mold, but he comes with the plus. He comes with the added benefit of doing other areas that can take this team, this offense, my scheme to the next level. So if that's what you thought, one, you have to protect him like that's what you thought. You have to protect your investment. And the way that he played him early on, I think we all can agree, he didn't play him properly. Now, did Kyle have some sort of PTSD of every quarterback that I throw in there somehow gets hurt? And the reason why we drafted Trey Lance anyway is because we have an issue with quarterbacks staying healthy. So maybe if we draft a young guy, he'll stay healthy. But obviously that wasn't the case. So you have to start looking at yourself and analyzing what you're doing to figure out, okay, what am I not doing to keep my guys healthy? But it didn't get to that point. He's already frustrated with the lack of health. Brock Purdy comes in, enamors everybody, and we are where we are. It's frustrating. Breezy, you muted, bro.
Yeah.
So why he don't keep that same energy for Brock if Brock was Brock's coming back from an injury? Why isn't it that same energy kept for every quarterback that get hurt? He clearly was ready to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because he kept getting hurt. Plus, I think the real reason why he wanted to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo is because Jimmy started pushing back and saying, fuck that. I know how to play quarterback. Like, I think that's why they were conflicts of interest. Jimmy was no longer, all right, I'm no longer programmable. You hurting my stock. I'm playing for my livelihood now.
Boom. That's it right there. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. Jimmy was out of here, and he said, "Why don't you push the ball down the field more, Jimmy?" He said straight up, "Hey, that's not on me. I execute the calls that are played."
He said that in a presser, Mike.
He said that.
Yes, he did in front of everybody.
Put the spotlight right back on Kyle.
And Kyle hated that shit. Like,
yes,
you could tell he hated it.
Exactly.
Which blows my mind. You hate that somebody calls you out for being a guardian of your playbook and the plays that you call, yet that's how you want them to run it. You want them to run the play that you call, throw it where you want them to throw it, and do nothing off script. How, Sway?
So, real quick, let me just say this. I think when Mose, when you mentioned he thought he was robot programmable plus, that's like the perfect way to put it, right? Because it's like, I want you to do everything that I'm telling you to do and everything that I see, but I also want you to be an extension of me and see things that I don't even see and plays that I'm not even really sure will be there. But if you're out there on the field and you see it, take it, right? And to answer Wayne's question, why wasn't this the same energy with Brock? I think because the dirty little secret is Brock was robot plus. He was robotic plus, especially in the postseason. And I know it kind of came back down to earth against Dallas, and we didn't see much of it all versus Philly. But in that Seattle game, which in my opinion, every playoff game is like 2.5 is worth 2.5 times a regular game, right? If you're playing well in a playoff game, that counts a little bit more than playing well in regular season. And that Brock was lighting up the Seahawks, especially in the second half. So I just think you both of you guys put it in the perfect way. Robotic plus, and that's what we got out of Brock Purdy. He'll put the ball where I tell him to put the ball, and he'll make the plays that maybe I don't even see. And I just think that's to be honest with you, for Kyle Shanahan, that's exactly what he wants. That's why he loved Kirk.
That's what he wants. But Kirk, I don't know if he loves Kirk. He didn't make that happen. He didn't try to make it happen. Kirk be taking shots down. He be taking shots down the field. That ain't Kyle Shanahan shit. Like that. Like I look at Kirk. Kirk got Jay Jettas. Even before Jay Jettas, he had Adam Thielen and Arnold. He was taking shots. I get down the field. But I all I'm saying as far as the energy, Zach, is Brock got hurt, but he's getting a pass. That's all I'm saying. Like Trey Lance got hurt, and now you're ready to move on. It's got to be something else. It's like Trey Lance must really just not be good. I can't accept that, but that's the narrative that I'm getting and the vibe I'm getting from Kyle Shanahan. Because how do you go from starting quarterback to quarterback 3 after a man that has 90 fucking turnovers in the league is your number 2 quarterback?
Talk it, breathing.
That's not true, Mike? Or don't do that.
Hold on. It's a fact. You heard me say don't do that? Or you read
I can read your lips, motherfucker.
No, we can read your lips and see you shaking your head. That wasn't that hard.
Yeah, I'm not. That was an easy one, little rascal. But I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do that because that's what his history shows. You're telling me Trey Lance can't be better because the history shows he can't play well. Now, all of a sudden, when Sam Darnold gets out there and it's in a real game situation and he has to be the starting quarterback, you mean to tell me these 31 defenses don't know that motherfucker? You mean to tell me
they don't know him here? Y'all
it doesn't matter. They just know his tendencies, Mike. You think his tendencies are going to change? They start sending exotic blitzes and all this different type of stuff. Come on, man.
Here's what I want to ask you off of that, bro.
You smarter than that, B. You way smarter than that, B.
If that's the case, how come none of these other quarterbacks were successful? If it's based on Kyle and his scheme, like
Nick Mullins didn't work.
Nick Mullins didn't work.
CJ Beathard didn't work. Brian Hoyer didn't work.
None of it. So what is it about Sam Darnold that says, you know what? This is the scheme where he's going to get it done. And I'll be the first one to tell you.
He's the prodigal son.
I'll be the first one to tell you because he was a 49er and because I ride for my team like that, I was one of the people that was saying that if there's anybody that could get it out of Sam, it would be Kyle. But I want to also be realistic about it too. You can have all of the talent and physical skills in the world. It's your decision making on the field. And Sam don't make good decisions.
Sam has not been in a system like this, and Sam has never had the weapons like this. Y'all can't sit here and act like it's apples to apples. It's not.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
Sam had Chris. He had DJ.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that to some degree.
He has some weapons in Carolina. Let's not act like it.
Stop. He didn't have Brandon Ayuk. He didn't have Debo. He didn't have George Kittle.
He had DJ Moore. DJ Moore ain't no slouch. He had wide receivers. He had Robbie Anderson. Let's keep it a buck. Like
they never had.
Bro,
a
I'm not saying
like this, bro.
I agree, but he's had opportunities to get it done, Mike. That's all I'm saying. And I tell you what, if he don't get that shit done here, then what?
Can I add something? First
I gotta
of all,
fix. First, we gotta fix Zach. Zach, can you go back out and come back in?
Am I frozen?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But your audio
We can hear
sounds
you, but you
amazing.
frozen.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, Mike, go ahead. I mean, Peachy, go ahead.
so what I was going to add to that is, what is ironic is after you're heralding Sam Darnold as your QB2, he had an awful practice today, they said.
That's the report, but practice don't matter according to
No,
that.
of course not. But
Exactly.
But
Practice
Kyle
don't matter for
Shanahan
everybody.
himself said that practices matter more to him than the
Then the preseason game.
preseason games. This came from him. Like
So
Kyle
now all of a
literally
sudden
said
it don't
that
matter.
So,
in
so
a fucking
didn't-
presser.
did-
That's
did-
what
Mike,
he
don't
said.
make the face. Kyle
But
said it.
That's what he said.
Did Sam Darnold throw an interception in the last preseason game?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would.
Just
That
to
wasn't
answer
on
your
him
question. It doesn't matter. It's an interception, right? If the ball was hot and the receiver didn't catch it, oh well, you get the interception. It goes on your
and
stat.
it absolutely does not matter who it's on, because every time Trey fucking throws an interception, which has been
They track his almost
few
interceptions.
and far in between, yes, and they also track his almost ones, and it's always put on him, regardless of what it is. So yes, he threw an interception in the game. He had a horrible practice today after this news came out, which was just fantastic. But the other thing that I wanted to say before I let you guys have this is Diana Rossini put out a report that the 49ers were actually shopping Trey in the spring.
Yeah, since the spring.
Since
So-
the spring. They have been shopping him around the NFL. And for those who, because this is my time for like 3 minutes, I just want to say this. For anybody who thinks that no damn NFL team wants this kid, you guys are insane. One, Minnesota does. Because that's who the 49ers had talks with back and forth, was the Vikings. Now, just like I forgot who it was said, but I'm just gonna say this. When teams find out that the 49ers are 100% serious, they're gonna come calling. You best believe they're going to come calling. Now that they know that he's available, is going to be different. It's not going to be like this dude is so useless that he can't, go to an, man, y'all are smoking something for real or drinking way too much. That kid is too talented. He just needs to be somewhere where someone believes in him, is where he needs to be. Somewhere where he's given an opportunity. Kyle literally fucking said that, well, the reps just weren't there. Bitch, you're the one who didn't give him the reps. So you need to look in the mirror at yourself, because you're like, well, there just wasn't, you just didn't the reps. That's on you. Which is why I go back to the first thing I said when the show first opened, is they had already moved on from this kid, and that's why.
It's interesting because we're gonna listen to Kyle Shanahan talk. You ain't gotta pay attention to it, but you're gonna hear it because we're gonna play it. But at the end of the day, we already had our issues with believing the things that came out of his mouth, but for some reason, I just feel like he contradicts himself. Because when you listen to him, is he telling us what he's supposed to be telling us, or is he not? Blah 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 blah. It's a fucking story. It's a never-ending story. I don't know if this is for entertainment. And then when you get the report, first it's like they're trying to move on for Trey Lance. They hope he gets a better opportunity. Blah 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 blah. That's what everybody's talking about, right? And then all of a sudden he's gonna play in the preseason game. Like, so now does he need to prove himself more to secure a trade? But what happens if something else happens to Trey Lance in that particular game? Not that I'm wishing that on anything, but that would hurt him. So at the end of the day, like, I'm so confused about the Trey Lance situation in San Francisco. It just seemed like what you said, Peachy, and everybody else on the panel, that he moved on. Like, Brock Purdy, I felt like sealed the deal from his performance last year. But they drafted that kid for a reason. 31 other teams passed on Brock Purdy however many times. And they passed, and then there was something that they saw in him, and they felt like, a lot of people won't agree with you, Mike, on your take, but it's always been about the guy that Kyle Shanahan can mold. Usually when you can mold the player, it's what you make them, what you shape them into becoming. And because that wasn't Trey Lance, I thought he was moldable, but clearly he isn't. He has natural gifts that just supersedes a freaking mold. He has instinct. He's going to move out of the pocket. He's going to think about running and trying to make the throw on the run. Receiver, get open. It ain't no drop, 3-step drop. I'm hitting the first guy in the first target. He's learning that, but that's not his natural way of playing football. That's why on a few episodes ago, I said he no longer fits the system, and that's when I realized that Trey Lance, regardless of how well he played against Denver, was on his way out. He no longer fit. Because we got to this big-ass argument, Mike, on your show. Big argument. I'm like, damn, like, are y'all not listening? Like, what is he doing that wrong? Oh, he holding on to the ball too long. Oh, he doing this. Okay, but do you see that he's trying to hit this guy down the field, and he's trying to get that? Like, those are there too. So why are we crucifying him for not making the first read? Oh, that's Kyle Shanahan's system. My bad. I didn't realize that was the system. I thought when they drafted Trey Lance, Kyle was trying to add to the system, enhance the system, make the system better, because the NFL is a copycat league. So I'm sure there are other people that are trying to copycat Kyle Shanahan's system. Go ahead, Zach. I know you had something you wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're good. I think, and call me a conspiracy theorist here, but I think we're not getting the full story. I mean, clearly we're not getting the full story, but I think it's possible. I found out today Trey Lance and Sam Darnold share the same agent, right? So Kyle Shanahan sits them both down and tells them, Sam, you're going to be QB2. Or maybe even this happened yesterday after Kyle Shanahan tried the whole, we're going to have a fluid backup quarterback throughout the year. Maybe this agent calls Kyle and is like, we're not doing that. You're not going to play my clients like this, bro.
Exactly.
Like, name one and commit, or let the kid walk, right? So I think after they got the news this morning, it's possible that Trey Lance's camp requested a trade, put out in the media. That's why, in my opinion, this has been completely botched by the 49ers organization. Kyle, John, I saw the chats talk about how they threw Fred to the wolves and made Fred Warner go out there. The chat, I got the notification on YouTube. It initially said John Lynch.
John Lynch
and yes,
and then I was at the 15-minute mark waiting. Matter of fact, I went live on IG.
And it was private.
And it went private. Exactly.
Wait,
right?
wait. What happened? Wait. I don't know what y'all talking about.
The 49ers account had put out the YouTube stream for the press conference, and it was titled John Lynch speaks to the media. And then I sent it to the chat. Within a minute, it's privated. And then John Lynch didn't speak to the media. They sent Fred Warner out
Didn't
there.
say nothing at all.
Avon Hargrave, who's been here for all of 5 minutes.
Right.
And Kyle Shanahan was over at KMBR, bro.
And Fred was asked the question, what do you think about the quarterback situation? How do you think that's happening with Trey? And Fred answered it perfect. He was like, I don't know what's going on with that whole situation. I don't get paid to kind of figure that out. Trey is our brother. Sam is our brother. We're going to rock with who we rock with. But, I don't make those decisions. I just focus on the defense, getting ready for our preseason game on Friday, and getting prepared for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, to throw one of your captains under the bus like that,
right.
that, and I think that's what's pissing me off more than anything. We already know that Brock Purdy is a starting quarterback. Nobody was saying that we should just anoint Trey the starter. I hate the cowardice. And Breezy talked about, and Zach just talked about how we botched this whole situation. This is a culmination of just a whole bunch of shit that we done botched.
Exactly.
We botched the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. We had a whole press conference and was like, we thank Jimmy for his time here, and then and he has a whole goodbye press conference, and then we can't trade him, we don't trade him, we don't move, and then we got to figure out a way to bring him back, and like we completely messed that up. Completely botched that situation, gave Jimmy all the power in that situation, messed that all up. Whether that messed with Trey's confidence or not, who knows? And then we get to this. It's like they don't. And what's crazy to me is at the start of this tenure, John Lynch's whole stipulation for interviewing with the job and eventually taking the job is if the 49ers organization started to show a little bit of tact and not leak out that he was interviewing. And that was probably the only time in this organization's history that we were able to be tight-lipped about anything.
Yes.
Because after that, and once he got in here, we went right back to being this loose-lip organization and just handling shit in a bullshit manner. And it's starting to drive me insane. It's like we can't do anything with any type of professionalism. We can't do anything with any type of tact. And then now we have this whole botch situation because don't nobody want to stand on a shit. You the general manager, you the head coach, you run the organization, you make the decisions about the roster. Stand on it. Listen, this is what I thought about Trey Lance. I saw him. I liked him. Didn't know much about him. Heard about him from some scouts. Saw him play. I thought he had the potential. Like Mike said, he had very little starting experience under his belt, but I thought I would be able to bring him in here, mold him. We got him in here. We got him under our belt. It didn't work out the way we thought it would. He's not really quite fitting with how I want to run this offense. Brock Purdy came in. I kind of saw what I wanted to see, and we saw it in a stretch of games where we went on this 6-game win streak into the playoffs. And that changed my mind, and it's just an unfortunate situation, but that's how the business works. We're moving on with Brock Purdy. We got Sam Darnold in because he fits the system a little bit more, and we're going to try to move Trey to a situation that's best for him. Stand on your shit.
Right. And we seem to be the only fucking organization that can't do that for some odd reason. You have coaches and GMs that will get up and be straight up with you, just like Philly was about Carson Wentz, and the Browns were with Baker Mayfield, and just all these movements that are being made, and they have no problem being straight up. This is the only organization that just does all this underhanded shit and then just try to feed all this crap out that we don't even want to hear. Most, to piggyback off of something that you said about Fred Warner, he also said that it was weird, that he did notice that it was weird, the 3 quarterbacks that were out there. So,
well, they didn't know. None of the players knew what was going on.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he brought that up.
So they said.
There's also reporting coming out that it's kind of been an open secret in the locker room, right? As Sam Darnold have been telling people for the past couple of days, he knows he's going to be quarterback too. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've seen some of the bigger, Bay Area reporters talking, 49ers reporters talking about how the 49ers quarterbacks knew this was the plan all along, essentially, and maybe this was just cemented into fact this morning.
But who is he going around and telling?
Well,
teammates.
And how is he telling people? He like, hey, I'm gonna be quarterback number 2. That's some sucker shit.
And who the fuck cares? You number 2. You still not the dude.
Like, what are you?
It's not
what kind of bragging right is that?
I don't know if y'all remember, but when we first got him, the guy that was training him came out and said straight up,
he did.
He's
be
gonna
quarterback
be
too.
Starter eventually.
Yes, he did.
This came out immediately.
Yes.
After he signed here. I don't know if y'all remember that. That was
I definitely remember it. It's on the channel somewhere.
Which would go back to shout out Haberman and Middlecoff tonight. That's what Haberman was saying. That he had sources that was telling him that it was like a week thing with Kyle and Sam from the beginning, that he already had him set as quarterback 2.
I told y'all that they signed him as a free agent. Y'all, everybody said it's gonna be competition. I'm like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
It just the writing was on the wall the moment Sam Darnold was brought in. Why? Former first round pick, third overall pick, big arm, can make the first read, has quick processing, but 90 turnovers. Just not in this system. I just want to make sure I point that out because Mike let me know that it ain't in this system.
Right.
I'm not, you know what? It's a show where we're going to talk about with our feelings. So for people that's talking about, got to take the feelings out of the shit.
No, well,
the
doesn't
49ers
matter.
could have took the feelings out of the
Right.
shit from the jump, and we wouldn't
Right.
even be having this
Yeah.
conversation.
That's
Right.
Well, the feelings
Exactly.
come into play when you trade up the number 3.
Yeah.
Now you get everybody excited. Now you
Yep.
get the
Right.
entire.
They
fan base,
did
not
this,
just the
Mike.
fan
Right.
base,
Yes. They could
not
have
just the
stayed
fan
at
base.
12 and
You get
took.
You get the entire NFL talking when the
Mm-hmm.
49ers, who were just in the Super Bowl recently, trade up the number 3.
Number 3.
Number
You
3.
don't mortgage your future and go from 12 to 3 if you're not taking a quarterback.
That's
so
the
you mean
issue.
to tell me you give one of the offensive gurus, one of the best play callers, play designers in the league, an opportunity to draft a
Exactly.
top 3 quarterback? Mike is absolutely 1,000% correct. Everybody and their mama is tuned into this team. The microscope is on you. And maybe that was a problem for Kyle too.
Well, you want to know something, Mose? Kyle's clock wasn't ticking. Kyle saved his job by not playing Trey Lance. If Trey Lance wasn't ready and the guy that they wanted him to be when he got out there, Kyle's job ain't start there. Now, though, now that he's officially made Brock Purdy quarterback 1, he's securing his quarterback 2, and we don't know what he's going to do with Trey Lance as of right now because that's the question. What should the Niners do? And there's a poll question saying, what should Trey Lance do? Not that he could do anything, but he can request a trade. He can. He does have the power and the ability to have his company or agency open up their mouths and say, hey, can I get up out of here? Now, last time I checked, the San Francisco 49ers do right by their players. Let's see if they keep that same energy when it comes to Trey Lance.
Facts.
When they're looking to trade a player, they're looking to make sure that player goes somewhere where there's no bad blood, and they want to make sure he's set. They've done it for players not even on his level. So I want to make sure, and I'm going to hold the San Francisco 49ers accountable if they do move on from Trey Lance, that they make sure he goes to a place where he can succeed. Because that's
But
what it
it-
comes down to.
But it shouldn't be a if. At this point, it should be a win.
Right.
Don't dangle the carrot in front of this
they
kid
have
and
the-
say that there's still an opportunity.
they have
and don't
power,
you dare,
Mose.
don't you dare, Kyle John, don't you dare use last year as a carrot to dangle in front of this kid. Well, we went through 4 quarterbacks last year, so there's always a
Yup.
possibility that you could get another opportunity with the start. Don't you fucking dare use that as a dangling carrot for this kid. Move on, bro. Move on. And if you, like Breezy said, if you're going to do right, send him to a team where he'll have an opportunity to at least compete. We're not saying start and go in and take over from day one. Give him an opportunity to compete. And wherever he goes, whether it's next year or the year after that, if Trey Lance is a starting quarterback, and I'm sure people are going to question my fandom, but if Trey Lance is the starting quarterback of whatever team he goes to when he plays the 49ers, I hope he dot us up. I hope he make us look stupid and have Kyle Shanahan on the sideline with the boo-boo face.
That's cat.
I guarantee you it ain't. I guarantee you it ain't.
You don't believe that?
That'll be the only loss. That'll be the only loss of the season that I'll accept is Trey Lance cooking us. Book it.
You don't want that.
Book it.
You don't want that.
Only way I won't want that is in the playoffs because that's holding us back from getting to the Super Bowl. But if it's in the regular season, we could take one. We could take one.
You think they trade him to the NFC or AFC?
I don't care where we could play AFC teams too. I don't care where it is.
I think is it going to come down to the best offer that they get? I don't think they mind. I don't think they care. I
Yeah.
think they just want the
it's
best.
going to be what we're going to get back.
Yeah, but you know what? If we do trade him to the AFC, that speaks more volumes about us than it is about Trey. Because they trying to get as far away from seeing that kid again in the future as possible.
They scared.
That speaks to us, not Trey. If they want to get him to the AFC, they trying to make sure that we only may see him once every 3-4 years.
Kyle finessed the whole team and organization into a 6-year contract extension in 2020.
Sure did.
You know what happened? You know what happened in 2020? The Niners were coming off a Super Bowl loss, right? And they put it out there immediately. Hey, we need another quarterback.
Yep.
Jimmy ain't the guy.
Yep.
Right after the Super Bowl.
Sure did.
So he talks to Jed York, he talks to John Lynch, and he says, hey, we got a plan. We got to get another quarterback in here, but it's going to take some time to develop him. And so Jed York gives him a 6-year extension.
Yep.
And then the following year, they draft the rawest quarterback rookie of all the prospects in the entire draft to justify that 6-year extension.
To justify 6 years.
Yeah, but
because
now-
we're going to get him for
guys,
4 years plus the 5th-year option.
Boom. And now the contracts are aligned, right? So
That's
now
fine.
you're thinking Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance are tied together. Well, now that you're ready to move on from him, he's QB3. Now, Kyle, you putting the pressure right back on you.
Yes,
now you
that's
gotta
where
win
you're
it.
going.
Now you got to win it, bro. Because now you're ready to move on from the guy that I gave you the 6-year
It's
extension for.
Super
Now
Bowl.
it's show up or shut up.
It's Super Bowl or bust.
A Super Bowl win.
Super Bowl win.
Or
Thank
That's
you,
what I mean.
Peachy.
That's
Thank
what I
you,
mean.
Peachy.
That's
Yeah.
what
Win,
I mean,
not just
when
getting there, 'cause we
I'm
got there already.
I'm not saying get there. When I say
Gotcha.
Super Bowl, I mean take the whole shit.
Got you.
Thank
Kick
you.
caboodle.
Thank you.
Because it's
Yep.
either that or it's a bust, right?
That's
so
right.
for me, and that, Mike, that's so spot on, and that's my issue. That's my issue with Kyle Shanahan, because he's going to use this as a scapegoat so he can extend his whole livelihood here in San Francisco. But here's my thing. You didn't have to trade all of that to find a fucking quarterback, bro. You didn't have to.
You could have stayed at 12 and one of them would have fell to you.
You could have
look at the
drafted a
names in that.
quarterback in the
Look at the
7th
names
round.
in that draft.
The fact that he
Do I have to pull it up again?
Micah Parsons, I don't care about any quarterbacks, honestly.
I'm not even talking about who we could have got. Just look at the names in the draft.
But my point is this, bro. Like, you traded first round picks, 2 of them, and swapped that one. So essentially it's like 3 because you moved up, right? Then you draft a project. Cool. You owe the 49ers, the fans, like, an explanation. That's all I'm saying. Give us an explanation. Oh, Trey just wasn't working out. But don't sit here and tell me you hope well for the kid. The kid has a lot of upside. He looks good, blah, 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 blah. That's bullshit. That's the cap.
Do we have any of the clips from what he said today on KNBR?
I got you, bro. Ready to play one?
I mean, if y'all are cool with it, I
All
want
right,
to hear what he had to say.
So first, let's hear what he had to say on yesterday to refresh everybody's memory, because that's where this all started when Larry Kruger asked the question, and then all the beat writers was kind of trying to pull something out of Kyle Shanahan, and this is what he had to say yesterday about the quarterback 2 situation.
A number 2 quarterback, or are you going to wait till right before the game? And is that something that could rotate week to week throughout the season? How do you see that?
Yes, all that. I mean, I would think probably announce it before we play Pittsburgh, but not this game.
Do you think you could rotate throughout the week?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Sense on the order you're going to play the quarterbacks in this
I haven't decided. No, today's a big part of that, and tomorrow, but we'll decide after these 2 practices.
Allen hasn't really gotten in much and hasn't practiced a ton. Is there a reason just to get more snaps with other guys, or is there a reason why he hasn't been playing too much?
It's just hard to play 4 guys. It's a challenge. We got him a lot earlier in camp, knowing that, especially when we had more 3s. But I mean, we don't even do really 3s now. Our 1s are consisted of 1s and 2s, and our 2s are consisted of 2s and 3s. It's just tough to get those at this time.
Do you know how the procedure will work with the 3rd quarterback rule? Are you going to have to designate a guy, or is it just one of your 7 inactives can theoretically play?
No, I believe they sent the memo last night. I have not read through it all yet. But I believe we're going to have to designate him. It'll be a specific guy. You can't go back and forth.
Bro, that was the initial statement from the questions about Trey playing this week, about the 4 quarterbacks, which I'm like, yo, you didn't have to bring in 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
You chose to bring in fourth quarter. What the fuck is he talking about? Like, oh, we had him get reps because earlier. He said, oh, we had Brandon Allen get reps in here because it was earlier. Brandon Allen's wife just had a baby. Let's just keep it a fucking buck. He took a couple days off to go be with the wife or whatever. He came back and y'all kind of lessened his reps. Matter of fact, that's pretty much what happened. That made me think that, oh, he's good as gone, right?
Yeah.
Title of the show, he's good as gone. Then the competition for 2 is at stake. All of a sudden, he comes back and then he says that other thing about, it's hard to play 4 quarterbacks. Then why'd you have 4 quarterbacks, Kyle?
Yeah. What do you, Zach? What's your opinion on this? Oh well, he gone again.
Let's go.
Zach,
Hey,
hit the
man.
thumb button.
Hey, fam.
God in the building.
Hey, man. Listen. I mean, it's getting pretty spicy in here, so I figured I'd come in with the cayenne pepper, right?
There it is.
I'm gonna make it more hot. I like that.
My biggest thing is, bro, the race was fixed. We already knew and had those inklings that the race was fixed. And I mean, this is just the end result. For me, the bigger thing is Kyle spending 3 picks on a 3rd pick and saying that he hopes that the guy is going to be here as the 3rd string. That's where it's like, bro, are you serious? You really hope he's going to be here? Like, don't be political at this point. You made your decision. Man up, stand on it. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, don't try to, like, you know, be that passive aggressive dude. Like, be aggressive. Let it fly if that's what you're standing on, Kyle. This halfway stuff is the problem that I feel like a lot of the fans, a lot of us have with him. Bro,
Yes.
If you made this decision, this is how you feel. You don't think he's the quarterback for this team. Stand all the way on it. Go on top of the mountain and scream this and stick to it. Don't say you hope that he's going to stay on this team. No, you don't. You made your decision. Was that not apparent by him being 3rd?
We gotta keep it real. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it real on this bitch right here. It's about to get really real. But if the 49ers had not taken Trey Lance, there was other teams that were right under there that was gonna take him. So y'all need to cut that bullshit out that I've been seeing for like hours. Atlanta was gonna take him. There were other teams that were gonna take him. So don't act like he's some damn bum just because he was raw. Raw does not mean bust. Raw does not mean anything. Raw means that he needs time is what it is, but the potential, like we've been saying, is there.
Who the fuck said who the fuck
So cut
who the
that
fuck
bullshit
entitled him
out.
PG being raw? Us.
Right.
Like how do we know he was raw? Because he couldn't throw a 3-yard pass that Kyle Shanahan wanted him to read for, but he could throw the ball down the field. Had zero problems in Trent Sherfield, Danny Gray, any other of these receivers that had to get down the field and take the top off the zero problems. Deebo Samuel caught a touchdown pass. Can we have this conversation? Because nobody was complaining when he was doing that shit. It's the quick read offense that he's struggling with. If that's what he's raw at, fine. But I didn't see a bunch of rawness. I just saw that he didn't fit the system. That I hate to come to that conclusion. I got to get my man Zach's point because he had a point before his thumb hit the button again. Sorry, Zach. Mike will tell you. I that's what I do. So Zach, go ahead and do your thing, baby.
Well, all right. Let me play devil's advocate here, right?
Please do.
Don't hate me, but
never.
Is it Kyle's obligation? Is there's responsibility to the team or to Trey Lance individually? It's to the team, right? I think you would all agree.
It's definitely it's definitely
priority.
To the team.
Yes, team.
Yeah. So Mose, I'm pushing back on you earlier. Again, don't hate me, devil's advocate. When you said don't give me the. We just had to use 4 quarterbacks last year. Technically, they needed 5. They just didn't have the 5th one. The 5th one just happened to be Brock Purdy with one arm. I think Kyle Shanahan's obligation is to say, I know you want out. I'm sorry, but I need you here. Like it's not an opportunity or it's not possible. It's probably likely, unfortunately, that Brock Purdy will not play all 17 games. Like I think Kyle Shanahan over the past 4 years, I think 2019 is the 1 year where one quarterback played the entire season. So I just think if Trey Lance, and again, this is a huge if, I'm speculating. I don't know if this is what happened. If he requested the trade, if his agent requested the trade after finding out he wasn't going to be the second quarterback, Kyle should say, in the interest of the team, no. You want out?
I get that.
We'll let you walk when you're a free agent.
I get that. I don't have any pushback on that other than to say, if that's the case and you're going to act like you need me or tell me that you need me because of situations and circumstances that you've been through before, well, act like you fucking need me then.
That's fair.
Don't play the fiddle on me and act like, and you second fiddle. I really don't, but I might. That's that seesaw shit. Like, if you need me, cool. Act like you need me. Pour into me like you need me. Give me reps like you need me. Why am I in training camp and we got all these quarterbacks and I'm only taking 2 reps one day? How am I gonna get better with 2 reps?
Don't hype up.
That's like if I tell my son to go outside and I want you to be a great free throw shooter, but go outside in the driveway and only shoot 2 free throws. And if you only make 1 of the 2, you ain't that good. You won't be good at basketball. So I'm not gonna sign you up for AAU. I only gave him 2 opportunities to practice his free throws. And because he went 50%, he's not good? Come on, yo. Don't give me that. Like, if you're going to act like you need me, act like you need me. Pour into me like you need me. Don't play me like you don't need me. But then when it really comes down to it and you are thinking about the team in the future, then that's when you say, no, we really might need you, though. So that's why I'm going to dangle this carrot. Don't dangle no carrot, yo.
So
that's all I'm saying.
Huh? So what was he supposed to do?
Move on from Trey and find somebody else. Find another third. You got Brandon Allen, right? Get him. You had Nate Sudfeld on the team. If he's not with nobody, bring him back. You can find another third-string quarterback, right? Because the third string is the third string. You drafted Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant of the draft, not thinking that he was even going to play. You can find another third string. You can find another 4th string. You can find somebody else if you got your guy in Brock Purdy and you solidified your number 2 in Sam Darnold. Whoever the third guy is an insurance policy, right? Because that's basically what we're saying. You know, so we'll try to find a good situation for you, but we actually might need you. Trey is an insurance policy. You can find a bunch of them.
And I had it.
If you don't want, if you don't want to get Geico or Allstate, you can call the General.
And I had it wrong though.
Is Shaq gonna answer if you call? If you call Shaq, answer.
It's either gonna be Shaq or Snoop.
Yeah, it's gonna be Shaq. Shaq's gonna answer, man. Shaq's selling insurance.
I had it wrong because I thought Sam Darnold was gonna be the insurance policy. I thought that's why they brought him in. I thought that's where he was gonna fall to. So if they needed that security blanket, let's say Trey got hurt, Brock got hurt, boom, Darnold would be that. But for Darnold to jump from whatever to the second quarterback, like that to me, let me know that they moved on. That's the whole point. Like Trey Lance isn't in the plans, guys. And
people in the chat seem to be confused. We're not saying Trey Lance should be QB1. We're
who
saying
said that?
No, well, someone just said, "Oh, it's personal for y'all." Where'd it go?
Oh, I'll find it. Just tell me that because we call them out. We call out people on the show. We hold people accountable. What we should be
at 10:58. Team Cali. That's the person.
What we should be doing is holding our damn head coach accountable. But y'all ain't about that life. I tell you what. So it's about Trey, not about the Niners. It's personal with y'all. Nah.
Listen. Here's the bottom line. We're looking at the whole picture. You're looking at right now. I'm talking to Team Cali. Sorry. We're looking at the whole picture. We're looking at the acquisition and what you gave up to get him. We're looking at the time supposedly invested. You just were willing to give this young man the keys to the team.
Yep.
Last year.
He was just your starter.
Mm-hmm.
And Trey
He was
Lance,
our franchise.
Trey Lance is all of a sudden the only quarterback on this entire team during Shanahan's tenure to lose his job to injury. No other quarterback has had that happen to him. Wow. Not a one. So no, we're not sitting here saying Trey should be QB1. We saw what Purdy did. We respect that. We understand if Trey Lance isn't going to come in here and beat him out. But you got this guy here that's been here for 3 months, barely knows your system, and looks, for all intents and purposes, pretty fucking bad out there during the preseason games and all the practice reports. All that shit that we seeing isn't equaling him leapfrogging Trey Lance all of a sudden.
No.
Plus, what you invested in Trey Lance. Take the play and put it aside. Let's just say that they were dead even in practice and in preseason. Which guy did you invest more in? So don't tell us.
Shouldn't he get the upper hand?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and Mike, let me ask you this question. You telling me, not you, but this is what they telling us. And somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. You're telling me that this motherfucker who couldn't get shit right on all the teams he played for in the NFL, right? 55 starts, 90 turnovers, couldn't figure it out, was seeing dead people, ghosts, whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. He learned
just
this
last
system.
year.
Just hold on, no.
Right.
He learned the system over the quarterback that's been here going into his third year. Make that shit make sense to Wayne Patrick Brown. Fuck a Breezy. I'm me now. I need you to make that make sense to me because I can't fathom that. And then when we start thinking outside the box on what it fucking really could be, then people gonna get mad because we throw the race car. There's no way somebody that don't know the system is gonna know the system over somebody that know the system. That shit don't make sense. It never will. And we know Trey know the system. He might not execute it, but he knows the system.
Yes.
I can't convince you, bro, because the math ain't math, and 1 + 1 not equaling 2. It's coming up to 11 somehow.
No, it's not. And not to mention that somebody had brought up something that was pretty wise, and I believe it was Benjamin Albright, who had said, you know, it's really interesting that you trade up to number 2 for RG3 and start Cousins by year 3. Trade up to 3 for Lance, only to start Purdy year 3. It's very interesting that RG3, like Kyle's been through this before. Like he's done this same shit before. What he was saying about RG3 was the same dynamic, this and that. He's like blah blah. The only difference is that Trey did not have, didn't play as much in college as RG3 did. However, if you listen to them, it's literally almost identical as to what Kyle was actually saying about being smart, intelligent, whatever. Then it came out that the owner was the only one that wanted RG3.
Right.
RG3's book to come later. I can't wait for that.
And the Shanahans come out and say, well,
yes,
we want Cousins.
Exactly. Wow. And the Shanahans say that they want Cousins. Exactly.
Wow. It's funny that you said Benjamin Albright, because I actually texted him as the show started.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be completely transparent with y'all. I can show y'all my screen right now. I'm completely transparent. This is exactly what I said to him. Would the Broncos take a flyer on Lance? It just depends on the price.
I think they would.
Yeah.
Because who else for him to learn from other than Russell Wilson?
Right.
If he doesn't go to Kansas City, if he doesn't go to Kansas City
or Washington
and learn under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, him going to Denver to be with Sean Payton, because this is Sean Payton's first year. Russell Wilson has a huge contract. Eventually, Russell's getting up there in age, and they're going to want to move off of that massive contract. Mm-hmm. So get him now, get him in your system, and have him sit and watch Russell Wilson do his business and learn firsthand under Sean Payton.
So again,
and you can tell that they don't believe in Russell Wilson by how much he's playing into the preseason. My man has played every half.
That's the Sean Payton thing. Game. I don't know if it's that they don't just believe in him, but Sean Payton kind of he old.
But if Russell was grasping this, Drew Brees never played the full half.
He didn't.
If Sean Payton was sold on what he saw from Russell Wilson,
Drew Brees was with Sean Payton forever.
That's what I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying. If Sean Payton was already sold on Russell Wilson and his development, because he's been there for a while now, if he was already sold, Russell wouldn't need that many snaps in a preseason game against second, third, and fourth stringers. That's what my point is.
It just may mean that he don't fit Sean Payton's system.
Like, I got a question for you.
And that's an even larger point of getting Trey into the system now to see if he fits.
Go ahead, Zach.
I got a question for y'all. So, all right, we're talking about potential fits for Trey, right?
Yeah.
Diana Rossini, now of The Athletic, formerly of ESPN, reports that they've been looking to move Trey the entire offseason, which personally, I don't really
Not a
buy.
surprise.
I think
I don't buy the whole.
I don't buy
offseason,
it. This falls into a little more of my theory of they kind of got, I don't want to say blindsided, but maybe Trey's representatives jumped the gun, getting in front of this, putting out that he wants out, and then
His camp.
49ers are doing damage control, saying, well, we've been trying to move him all off season anyway, right? Damage control. My question for you is, if that is true, let's grant that if that is true, Rand Carthon just became the GM in Tennessee. They need a quarterback. They had Malik Willis, who, by all reports, they're out now, is looking great and surpassed Will Levis. They just drafted, I know, but I wouldn't Rand at least pick up the phone. Why?
Damn, my man messing up at the best part of his question.
Yeah, he was cooking.
He was saying something. Why wouldn't Ron Carthon take a shot on Trey Lance? You know,
Well, they've invested some picks in quarterbacks, but I think what Zach wanted to know was what other fits. Oh, here he is. He can speak for himself. Go ahead, Zach.
Just why didn't Rand pick up the phone if he is interested in acquiring a young quarterback? I know he already had two at this point, right? But he was just with Trey Lance. So why didn't that happen? I guess is my question. Yeah, why do you think?
I mean,
there could be a bunch of things. I mean, was Rand a Trey believer? Did he? But was he a head? Right. You know, I think we should go Justin Fields, or I think we go Trey Lance. If he was never a believer from the get-go, then that would be one reason why you don't pick up the phone. You know, whether you like the kid or not and his personality, we know everybody loves Trey. We know he has an electric personality. He gets along with everybody in the building. But if you don't believe in what he can do on the field, we haven't heard from Rand in that aspect, so we don't know what he thought of Trey. If he did, you would probably have to sell Mike Vrabel and the ownership there on making a move for Trey, and this is what we should do. But I think, you know, the scouts are already in the building. They've done their due diligence on Will Levis. They said, you know, we'll get extra time out of Will Levis because now Trey Lance is going into year 3. So we'd have to make a decision quick if we make this trade. Are we going to pick up his 5th-year option? I feel like a lot of stuff goes into that if they make that trade. So we already have Malik Willis. We'll have him on a rookie deal. We go get another quarterback since he wasn't somebody that we drafted, have him on a rookie deal, and that we've been talking about it all night. That extends the clock on making an evaluation at the quarterback position. So I could see why, even if he wanted to pick up the phone, why it makes sense business-wise. And you mentioned it earlier, Zach. Are we making a move for the player, or are we making a move with the team in mind? So with the team in mind, I could see why, even if he wanted to, he didn't pick up the phone.
Mike, you were about to say something. I wanted to get Mike.
I was going to ask y'all, if they end up trading Trey Lance, where do y'all think a good fit would be? And I know this isn't the Trey Lance podcast, right? Like, this isn't about...
This is whatever we want. We overreact to everything that's happened today. Exactly. So it's funny how Sam Darnold was promoted to quarterback 2, and everything is about Trey Lance being demoted. And that's what we're trying to figure out. Like, how did this happen? How did Trey Lance get demoted?
And we still haven't heard on this show Kyle's KNBR remarks.
Which is what we're going to get to after your take, I promise.
I do want to know where y'all think he would go. I'll kick it off first, and I put this background up for a reason. Y'all see?
Kansas City.
No.
I'm going to Kansas
not
City.
Kansas City.
Oh,
I'm reminding y'all of Patrick Willis, Washington. Eric Bieniemy, who has been working with Patrick Mahomes. I said Willis. Eric Bieniemy, who's been working with Patrick Mahomes for the last 5 years, is now tied to Howell, Sam Howell. Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep. North Carolina. UNC.
You telling me that he wouldn't be salivating to get his hands on a guy like Trey Lance after coming off of Patrick Mahomes?
My only pushback with that, Mike, and I love it because that's where I want him to go, is we play them this year, and does Kyle Shanahan want to send them to a team that he's about to play?
Hey, that's not Trey's problem. That's not Trey's agent's problem. He's got to do what's best for his career now.
Facts.
Yeah, but Kyle still controls where they send him. Trey can't decide where the fuck he want to go.
So you don't think this is going to the highest bidder?
It
no.
may, but
no.
You
it
don't.
Won't.
Not at all.
No.
It won't.
But why not?
Then that's a terrible job by the 49ers front office.
Why wouldn't they go to the
and
highest
that's
bidder?
the frustrating piece.
But why?
Because they don't want to.
Because what if the highest bidder is Seattle?
The Rams.
Well, I
Or-
mean, they're
or
not going to
Seattle.
trade him within the division, but
That's why it's not going to be highest bidder.
But if they're telling us he's a bust, wouldn't you want him to go in the division? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, because they really don't believe that he's a bust.
That's my point.
It's
That's
just
my point.
they're trying to spin it like, oh, he's not a good fit. No, y'all just impatient. Y'all are not willing to do the work. Y'all done extended, y'all done contracts, y'all done got all this time, but y'all really don't want to do the work that it takes to get him to where he needs to go because because the media and the fans put this stigma out here that you have a Super Bowl window. Trent Williams is getting older. George Kittle is getting older. We got to pay Bosa. We got to pay Brandon Ayuk. Eric Armstead's getting older because they make it seem that this Super Bowl window is so small. We need a ready-made solution. And because Kyle is a control freak, like Mike has been saying, like we've all been saying, he needs somebody that is controllable so he can dictate where the ball goes, when it goes there, to give him the best chance to get to and win the Super Bowl. So they don't think he's a bust. If he goes somewhere and somebody really spends the time to mold and make him, you can't send him in a division because he'll cook you twice a year if you let him.
real quick, Mike, not to cut you off. It's like Kyle Shanahan went out and bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of top tier premium marble, and he's pissed off that it's not carving itself into Michelangelo's David. You know, it's like he's looking over and he's got a statue of a dog that he bought at Target for $10. No disrespect, Brock. I'm a Brock guy. I got the shirt on. I love Brock,
of course.
But he got this premium marble, and he's pissed off that it didn't carve itself into, you know, the David, like the perfect old school statue.
You didn't watch enough YouTube videos, DIY videos,
or perhaps Kyle is just not the perfect sculptor.
Or
that's
it.
Ooh, that's a good
That's
point.
the side of it. That's the other part of it, right?
So he needs things to come pre-made.
Yep.
Okay, so then here's my question then. What do you do with that marble now? You
try to
wanted this
recoup
marble-
something.
You got to sell it at a loss.
You got to take the hit.
Apparently, you throw it in the garage.
You gonna
put it in the doghouse. Say that again.
Yeah, you put it in the garage. It's in the garage right now. That thing ain't coming out for a while.
That's absolutely.
It's unfortunate that we're having this conversation 3 weeks before the NFL season starts for the San Francisco 49ers.
So 49ers.
We've had our starting quarterback, and this is more about the team just doing a player, in my opinion, just fucking dirty South. Like, this is dirty. Like,
It is dirty.
And there's nothing that they can say that can fix it. You can't sugarcoat. I want to hear what Kyle says, because I want to do that and then get to these super chats. Because they're here and they're loaded and they want to hear their point. So let's listen to what Kyle says, and then we'll listen. Then I have a quote from what he said that's not in this clip. Okay? All right, here we go. Crazy, yo.
Do you have any expectations one way or the other whether he'll be here when you guys be a member of the 49ers when you guys play the Steelers?
I'm really hoping so. I mean, this isn't a thing that we're giving up on Trey. This is more of how Brock played in his 7 games, and that was decided before this season started. And then how good Sam's looked. They both looked good. But we do have to make a decision here, and you only get so many reps at it, and we feel starting about 10 days ago, Sam really separated himself, and we got to keep it real in that way. But I feel very, very fortunate to have both of them here. I really hope when it's said and done that all 3 of these guys are here, and you never know when that's going to come up. We needed 4 guys last year. Doesn't happen much, but if we can have Trey as an option here, I would feel extremely happy about that. And I think the other quarterbacks in our room would, and I think our team would. Trey's a very well-liked guy, one of the better people I've been around, and I do think he's going to have a lot of success in this league. It's been a tough road for him because the times he has gotten an opportunity, he ended up getting hurt and missed that window. And now he's in this position, and we'll always try to do right for Trey. If there's a better situation that his heart's in and something like that, we're going to make sure not to do something that hurts him in that way. So that's stuff that I talked to him about this morning. That's stuff I'll talk to him about tonight and continue to talk to him about. But Trey knows how I feel about him, and I mean, I hope he ends up being able to be here, and that's the best thing for him. But we got to see what is the best thing from now until then.
Trey knows how we feel about him. He sure does.
Kyle basically said, if the right trade comes along and his agent approves it, he's out of here.
Yep.
That's what Kyle just said.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of fill in the blanks there.
And he also used that same shit that he used with other players that became no longer 49ers. Oh, well, you know, he's gonna be great in this league. He's gonna, you know, in
That's
this
what sold me,
league.
Peachy.
Yes,
That's what
that's
sold
another
me.
fill in the blank though. He's gonna be a great player in this league, just not here.
Fill in the blank all you want, but that right there is what let me know Trey was good as gone.
He's gone. Yep.
Zach, I got to get your take on this, bro. You've been the what's the word? You know, I hope you have a different take on it because
Zach is the voice of reason right now.
And I'm cool with optimism. Usually, I'm the optimistic person.
I think that again, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think he's genuine. I think part of it is genuine. Let me say part, because I do think he's bullshitting. I agree with you guys. Yeah, he's giving you the standard answers, plug and play. You can put them about anybody that's in the situation. But I think that he genuinely does hope that Trey changes his mind. But it's like, you know, imagine your wife coming home and saying, hey, I want to open up our marriage. I hope you're still here when I come back. It's like, you expect Trey to be cool with this and hope that he wants to be here? Like, you're asking a lot of him, especially after we've all just talked about. We dedicated the franchise to him last year. You opened up, gave him the keys to the Ferrari and said, it's yours, kid. Snaps his ankle 5 quarters later, and you're like, hey, you had your chance. Why'd you fuck it up? I did it. I snapped my ankle. I tweeted this out earlier, and I really do feel like this is the case. Kyle Shanahan, it's like the 49ers were a train moving at full speed, and they're mad that Trey didn't jump on and get into a boxcar. They're telling him you missed your chance because you didn't jump in on time. You knew how raw he was when you drafted him. It's not like they drafted a blind player. They blindly went in and didn't know how many games this kid had played, how many snaps he had taken. They knew all of this. They had access to all the information everybody else had, and they said, "Yeah, that's our guy." And then they lied about it and said Kyle was drawing up plays from him on the plane ride at home after his pro day. It's a lie. It's a lie, and I'm sick of it. And I know I kind of started with saying I think he's truthful, and ending of saying I think he's lying.
Oh, the shit hit you. The shit had to go back around. You had to get the IMAX version of that shit because I know you heard what we heard. That did. I'm gonna defend. I'm always gonna support our head coach. At the end of the day, it's about the team. But you got to start doing these players. You got to do right by these players. And the fact that Kyle Shanahan gave Trey Lance the day off after this type of news, Mike, that's when you jump in. You don't make the face. You complete my sentence. Me and you will never part.
Maki Dada, baby. Listen, he did not. I don't believe he gave him the day off.
I don't believe it either. I believe his agent. Go ahead.
I think they're fielding offers right now.
Yes, sir. It's a business. It's a business day.
Those people said he better not get hurt between now and us executing this trade.
Yep.
And so I have never heard of a player being too emotional to practice. Trey Lance has taken everything this team has thrown at him right on the chin. He comes to the podium when they ask him to. He shows up at practice when they ask him to. He was out there supporting his team on the sideline while he was injured. Every time a quarterback was in there other than Trey Lance, as soon as the series was done, who was the first person speaking to the quarterback that came off the field? It was Trey Lance. Now all of a sudden you expect me to believe that because he's QB3, he was too emotional about it and he needed the day off? I understand him being upset. I understand him being in his fields even a little bit. But you tell me he can't practice now? You telling me that the kid that you've been putting on the back burner, you traded up for him for number 3 and said, hey, by the way, you're not starting no time soon. We don't expect you to come in here and beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, all of a sudden, you expect me to believe that you're on the roster, your position is secure, you emotion, you can't practice. I don't buy it. I think this is security for his long-term future and well-being.
This is how it went down.
Let me add to that real quick. I think also too, Mike, not only is it a security for the trade to go through, I think it also helps the narrative. Why? Because it makes Trey Lance looked passionate. He was upset that he lost the job. So he's passionate about this. He was pissed off. He couldn't practice because he was so upset. That's the type of player that you're getting. You're getting an impassioned leader. That's all a part of the narrative. That's why this pisses me off, because at every step they're throwing in bullshit to continue to push their agenda and add to the narrative.
It's incredible how we can see the same exact situation and come out on opposite sides of it. Because I think this makes Trey Lance look soft. I think this makes. I think,
that's how I was gonna. I was
think
gonna
if
say.
you tell me that you aren't getting the position you thought you were getting, and you were so emotional you can't play,
like you throw a temper tantrum or something. Yeah.
Right. The NFL ain't for you, son. The NFL ain't for you, son. Because anybody, including Tom Brady, including Peyton Manning, all of the greats that you ever talked about, Steve Young come on the microphone and says it all the KNBR. He says it on 95.7 The Game. Joe Montana, he said, I had to go out there and ball every single day because I knew Joe Montana was just a sniff away. Right? Yeah. Joe Montana goes out and says the same thing. Steve Young was right behind me the whole time on my heels. You telling me that you think that somebody's too emotional, he can't fucking practice? And that's supposed to be a sign of strength? Absolutely not.
Yeah, but what if the thing is, what if Trey wanted to practice? And they didn't allow him to. That's why they spin the narrative. Not that he's weak, but that they can't spin it like, oh, we don't want him to get hurt because of the trade. They got to spin it some type of way. But they're saying that he was upset, and Kyle said we made the decision to sit him out because of how he reacted. He traded and say, oh, I can't practice. They made the decision based off of what they saw from him emotionally. That's not on Trey. Trey didn't say, man, I'm so upset I can't go out there and practice with my guys. What if he wanted to go out there and practice? And it was like, we see that you're a little emotional. We think it's best that you not go out there and practice. To me, that don't show me that Trey is soft. Because even if I would have said, nah, fuck that, I'm going out there to practice, they still would have said, no, I don't think it's a good idea for you to practice. Yeah, but and after that back and forth,
they couldn't have stopped him from practicing. No, they can't stop that motherfucker from practicing.
Why not? They've been controlling his reps all fucking camp.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying they can't stop him from. What I'm saying is they can't stop him from fucking going outside and practicing. They can't stop him. He could have went.
All he was going to do is walk out there with his cleats and just stand there and not do nothing.
They couldn't stop him. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, that's exactly what he could do. They could put him on the side field. Y'all don't remember just last year when Jimmy
all I'm saying. He could have went. He chose to listen to his coach because he's still a young pup. Okay, coach, I'll go. No problem. I'll walk away. That's the soft shit Mike talking about. Fucking be out there with your team. Still show you a leader.
All right. So I want to address something real quick before you guys get back on this, because I guess that's what my job is tonight, is to do this. So I'm going to do it well. Don't ever fucking question any of our 6 people that are up here about our fandom and about our 49ers fandom and about loving the front and you shouldn't worry about the name on the back. Because most of y'all, let me tell you, are the same people, because I've been around for a long time.
Don't say the name.
Were like mad as hell about the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. So it's people only come out and say that whenever they want to band together and have some stupid ass opinion. I have been a faithful for over 40 years. Ain't nobody gonna fucking tell me about my fucking fandom, because I have lived through and seen more than probably anybody who's in that fucking chat right now. So I will be that tonight. I have no problem doing that. I just want you guys to know that our 6 of us are dedicated 49er fans. We're ride or die. Second thing, nobody has a problem with Brock Purdy being number 1. Open your ears. No. This is not about Brock Purdy's position. We're all happy that he's quarterback 1. He earned it.
Fuck Brock Purdy. Now what?
It just...
Why he always gotta be the center of a fucking tension?
From what I gotta say is
he didn't do anything to catch a stray, Breezy. He didn't
Nah,
do anything.
he catching
about him.
strays. He catching
They
strays.
all catching strays at this
That's
point.
a bazooka stray.
At this point, what's the problem? Like, dude, he's a start QB. Side, he's the side. Cool. Start QB. We got it. Got it, Kyle. Made it clear.
Figure that out.
Right.
We're good.
Good. Moving on. That's next. Quarterback 2. Oh, that's where the real competition starts. Now, this comment right here from Mr. Stabby that I feel like I've never seen before in my life. Shout out to Mr. Stabby. Trey was never number 3. Why you think Allen was brought in? This was the plan. Kyle wanted Mac. Whatever. I just feel like the opportunity. I'm starting to feel he never had an opportunity. Y'all kept telling me he wasn't getting a fair shot, and I'm like, nah, he just gotta wait. Blah 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 blah. It's gonna happen. These quarterbacks are gonna get hurt. Not that I'm wishing for it. I'm not. But from this system, you know what's 100% consistent? The quarterbacks get fucking hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In this system.
Right. I mean, this is what I said when I first jumped on. The race was fixed already. His shoes was tied together.
Mm-hmm.
They popped the gun, and everybody else ran, and he had to untie his shoes and lace them back up. It is what it is. It is what it is. Go ahead, Mike. I saw your hand up. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm gonna do a little bit of temperature control right here. You said there was more that we didn't hear from Kyle. You said it was a quote that didn't make the audio clip. Wayne,
I don't have audio, but I do have the quote. So I
fuck Brock Purdy. I gotta try to change the subject now because this shit about to get crazy.
I mean, I got plenty. I got plenty of bullets. I got plenty of ammunition.
I got the crazy.
We've been talking about Brock Purdy all this fucking time. I don't even think Brock Purdy was fucking hurt. You want to have a conversation? Ain't no way this motherfucker coming back from that injury that quick. All bullshit, all fabricated. Anyway, Kyle Shanahan said on KMBR he's planning for Trey Lance to play Friday versus Chargers. I plan on Trey going in right after Sam. So he didn't practice today, which was the last practice, but you're going to put him in a game? So let's kind of make this make more fucking sense.
I tell you what. If he doesn't touch the field on Friday, does that mean that his trade offers out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the language that they speaking.
That's it. Now we just got to.
But also, I mean, if he plays Friday, that kills the soft narrative. Because if I'm not going to practice, why am I also going to play? If I'm soft and I'm pouting because of this news, I'm also not going to go play Friday. You might as well not even play me. Play Brandon Allen.
I'm with that. But I'm petty. I wouldn't feel like I'm soft if I did that. If I feel like you just did me one over, fuck you. That's the way I think though. So I feel like if you try to pull
why it can't be the same thing with practice?
I just feel like this was practice and he still should have went out there. But when it comes to the game,
you can't do that.
Yes, I can because they made their decision. They just made the decision. They made the decision saying, "Yo, you three, maybe, maybe."
So how can it be fuck you for the game but not fuck you for practice?
I'm not saying fuck. You talking about Trey Lance saying fuck you?
Yeah,
because maybe he's accepting the decision now. Maybe he didn't accept it then. I don't know. I don't know what trick going on through Trey Lance's mindset. But I know right now, if you're going to ride with that dude, you could go ride with that dude. That's cool. I get it now. Maybe Trey Lance don't get it right now. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying now, having that day off is going to give him time to have a moment of clarity. Oh, this organization straight beeped me. All right, cool. Go ahead, Mike.
43 minutes ago, y'all told me that Kyle told y'all that he values practice more than preseason.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He said joint practices. You got to put the joint in front of that shit.
The joint. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then never mind. I take back what I was going to say because I was going to say if these practices are so important, why are you putting them out there in a preseason game? What else you need to see?
I don't know, Mike. I don't know, Zach. I don't know, Fair.
That's why I said that.
I'm surprised that Mike knew the exact minutes that you said that comment. That's more impressive to me. 43 minutes, 22 seconds ago.
We miss you, Fair.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. Hey, look, it's a nasty game right now. We all going to be here along for the ride. Win or lose, But I tell you what, man, it's some pressure. It's some pressure on Kyle.
This is
It's some
crazy,
pressure on
yo.
Brock. It's pressure on this whole team. I mean, it's always pressure on the team to go out there and perform and win, right? But you turned it up a lot, and and you controlled this.
You didn't have to.
Self-inflicted pressure right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and it's
on
it's on everybody too.
Yeah, but
it's not just Kyle. It's not just Brock. It's on Steve Wilkes.
Nah, it's on
the
Kyle,
defense.
Bro. It's not. Kyle is the controller. He is the king, and he controls the moves. Steve Wilkes came out and said that shit ain't in my pay grade. The fuck?
Wait,
no, I get that, Breezy. But here's why the pressure is on everybody. Because what have we talked about all night? What is Kyle?
The pressure. I'm sorry.
What
I
is
thought
what
you
is
meant the situation? My bad.
No, what is Kyle the king of doing? Kyle is the king of finding scapegoats.
For sure.
So if this don't go right and we not winning at the clip that he want to win, he gonna find a way to put it on whoever he could put it on. Whether it's Brock or if Brock get injured and Darnold got to play and he throwing picks all over the field, or the defense is giving up yards in the running game and giving up touchdowns and we not scoring points and not stopping team. Kyle gonna find a scale. Oh, it's not me. My quarterbacks couldn't stay healthy.
Definitely.
My running backs couldn't stay healthy.
Yep.
My offensive line can't block.
Max.
My defense not stopping. He gonna find somebody to scapegoat. So it's pressure on everybody, not just the quarterback.
I get what you mean now. I didn't know. I thought you meant the situation.
Yeah.
Like this whole Kyle is the manipulator of everything. He controls. He's the puppeteer. He's controlling that. I didn't know you meant that the pressure though. Now Steve Wilkes got to be on his A game. The players got to be on there. I got you. My bad, bro. But at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan. This is his vision. Y'all keep forgetting that. This is his vision.
Quick question. Quick question. Not to cut you off, Breezy. My bad. All right. We said he basically traded 3 first-round picks. I know it was 2 in a swap. I'm going to call it 3 just for the simplicity of it. How many other coaches can make that trade, have it fail miserably, have that player only play 4 games,
Privilege, bro.
write it off, and not even worry about losing their job? Like, do any the 6 of us think there's any legitimate chance Kyle Shanahan gets fired after this year?
Hell
no.
Do you know how many things would have to happen before that would happen?
Right. Let me tell you, I got you. Kyle's got the excuses. I'm gonna piggyback on what Mo said to answer Zach's question. Right. All the excuses are built in already.
That's a dope system.
It's gonna start with the quarterbacks. Hey, well, he was Mr. Irrelevant after all. I mean, we thought we saw something in him, but
I didn't get a full year in him.
Right. I didn't have a full year in him. He was coming off of an injury. Okay, but what about Sam Darnold? You went out there and picked up Sam Darnold and said Darnold was better than, he was going to be your next guy. Yeah, well,
Sam just came in.
There's a lot of tape out there on him, and we didn't expect the defenses to know his tendencies so well. Apparently, they were watching a lot of Carolina and Jets film. So that kind of happened also. Well, what about Trey Lance? Well, he's so raw. He only got 4 starts. I mean, we were still trying to work on him. Okay, well, you picked that guy though, but tell me more, Kyle. Well, also the defense. We went from the number 1 defense last year to Steve Wilkes and a new defensive coordinator. Well, Kyle, yeah, that's true. But when Steve Wilkes came over, you didn't allow him to bring anybody with him to implement his system, his defensive schemes. This is a decision that you made, Kyle. Yeah, but I thought that he was going to be able to come in here and just carry the torch, carry on what we did and work with our secondary just a little bit more and, get those guys a little bit better because we were concerned about the pass rush not getting there. Yeah, well, Kyle, you're saying that, but then we went out there and got you the top defensive tackle in the free agent market this year to help with all that. Well, I understand what you're saying and you're correct, but it's a culmination of all of those things. It's a culmination of all those things. So, Jed, what I'm saying is, I need another 4-year extension. Let me find the right people and pieces to put in place so that way I could do. And let me tell y'all right now, if it was anybody other than Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid, it wouldn't happen for 2 more years. It wouldn't happen.
I give you 3 more coaches.
Real quick, Mose.
John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, and Belichick, but that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And real quick, I just want to know, that was a meeting between Kyle and Jed, you said? Mike? Okay. I just want to know if Kyle's in there smoking hookah too.
That ain't hookah in them rocks,
It ain't just
bro.
hookah. That shit laced, bro. It's laced. It's laced. It's laced. And by the way, somebody in here keeps saying the Rams mentality is fuck them picks, fuck them picks. Let me tell y'all something. The Niners doing the same shit with their first round picks. Solomon Thomas,
absolutely.
Ruben Foster, Trey Lance now.
Talk about it. Mike
Like,
McGlinchey, talk
listen,
about
Mike
it.
McGlinchey. Hold on, we ain't done yet. Javon Kinlaw. I don't want to hear a 49er fan saying shit about first round picks no
They
more.
just
'Cause the
can't
fucking
draft
49ers
early.
didn't do shit with
They
him.
they
We
got
Nick Bosa.
they
We
hit
got Nick Bosa,
twice.
and we can't even get his ass to come back to fucking the team right now.
And we got
hit
lucky with Bosa.
2019
He sure did.
is their best draft year on early picks. It was Nick Bosa, who was a sure thing, and Deebo Samuel in the second round. After that,
So yeah, fuck them picks because they clearly don't mean shit here either. So I appreciate
Sure
the
don't.
Rams take. I'm gonna go out there and get a sure thing proven in the NFL.
and Brandon
with
Ayuk,
my
I'm sorry,
first
3
round
picks.
and bring them in here. You understand what I'm saying? I want the proven commodity at the NFL level, not some college guy, because the Niners damn sure can't do it in the first round.
Mike,
Niners
hold on
damn sure
one
can't do
second
it in-
because Zach has to dip out. I want to give Zach his final thoughts, and so he can give his proper due and let everybody know
Appreciate you.
where they could follow him.
Yeah, Mike, just add on to that hypothetical conversation. Kyle's going to tell Jed there's this kid, Archie Manning. Maybe you've heard of him. Just let me wait till him, Kyle. Just let me wait till him, and we'll be solid. I'll buy him an extra 6 years. All right, y'all. Thank you for having me on. Breezy, Nitty Gritty Niners. Mike,
Yo,
my guy, as always.
You're welcome anytime, bro.
Appreciate
Anytime.
you, man. We got to have all y'all on 49ers Hive. It's going to be a great show.
I promise I'll be more tamed. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. I love it. It's the passion just flowing through us.
I can't promise that.
I appreciate the honesty. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're tuning up 49ers Hive, go Nitty Gritty Niners, hit like and subscribe. You already know everybody here. They're great person, or you love them, excuse me. So hit like and subscribe. And again, thank you.
All right, Zach, we appreciate
How
you.
fitting. How fitting for me to get cut off. All right. Thank you, everybody.
No, you're good.
Take care. Have a good evening.
night.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
That was fun. Yo, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna get to some of these super chats because there are a lot of super chats, which is good, Mike, because this is Mike's favorite part. So Mike gets to read all the super chats because he likes to clap back at all the stuff that happened at the very beginning of the show. So I'm excited to see how this is gonna pan out.
Yep.
Now, Mike, I want you to appoint who you want to answer the super chats. How's that?
So I read it and just call a name and y'all got to respond.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
You the
And by the
hostess
way,
with-
if y'all don't give the response I think y'all supposed to give, I'm
then you gonna clap back. There it
I'm airing
is.
people out.
That the only reason why Mike is here is because he wanted to air people out what happened that I having the host, but he just didn't know he gonna do some work tonight. That
Hookah
shit.
Mike is ready too.
Hookah Mike is
Go,
ready.
baby.
All right,
Go,
let's get to the super chats. Let's go. PG, can you pull them up for me? I'm gonna look for something.
Mike, nobody tried to take credit for that name. I gave you that. We on the
Hookah
same
Mike,
page,
no,
right?
No. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
that's-
all right.
You the first person that ever said, "Oh shit,
All right.
Hookah Mike in the building. He about to turn
Yeah.
up."
Yeah, that's when it's
Hold on,
real.
let me go.
Miss
All
Becky,
right.
the first super chat of the evening, she says here, and I quote, Trey was horribly mismanaged, in my honest opinion. Definition of mismanagement, it's a verb. Manage badly or incompetently. Mismanage is to make a mess of something you're doing or running. This is so unfair for Trey. Ring that damn bell, Breezy.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Mose, take it away, man.
I mean, the definition speaks for itself. Manage badly or incompetently. Mismanage is to make a mess of something. I mean, we talked about it earlier. The way they handled the Jimmy Garoppolo situation after they drafted Trey Lance, and then what happened the year after that. It's been a complete and utter mess, and they've been trying to find ways to find scapegoats for the problem. Oh, it's the injuries to the quarterback. Oh, it's Trey Lance. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. It's this person. Is that? No, it's you, Kyle. It's the front office. We didn't want, you guys didn't want any things to be leaked, but now there's the leak that's coming out. Who knows how true it is? But John Lynch didn't want Trey Lance. He was the one who wanted Justin Fields, and you overrode him. And my thing is, if he's the guy that you wanted, I just don't understand now why he's getting treated like this by you specifically. It's not like John is the one coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm forcing Kyle to push him out." No, it's how you're responding. It's how you get up at the podium and answer the press conference questions. So yeah, it's been completely mismanaged, and we have to look at Kyle and we have to really start holding him to the flame for how he's handling these situations, because it's not giving me leader. It's not giving me head coach of the San Francisco 49ers that understands how to manage situations, how to manage players, how to get your job done, but do it in a way that, you know, is understandable by your entire organization and that's easily digestible by the fan base, because this ain't it.
It's a clusterfuck. That's the word you were looking for. I got you. It's a clusterfuck, right? And on top of that, we talked about, he said something about holding people accountable. Somebody needs to be fired. I'm not saying John Lynch. I'm not saying Kyle Shanahan. A scout, somebody who justified trading up and then selecting Trey Lance for him to get 4 starts. Y'all, he's got 1 more start than picks it took to acquire him.
Wow.
Crazy.
And they gave up on and they gave up on him because of that?
Come on, man. Somebody's got to be held accountable. Somebody's head got to roll.
The math's still not mathing, bro.
It's
1
not
plus 1
going
is
to.
equaling 11, bro.
Not at
Somebody's head's got to roll, bro. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Somebody's got to be the
I've
scapegoat now.
never seen. I've watched quarterbacks go a season and a half before they were canned, and he didn't even play
a quarter of a season. Come on, bro. It don't make no sense. Come on, let's get to the next one. We got like 30 of them in here. I'm sorry.
We literally.
Gaming Brown.
We be
Thank you all for the
gaman.
super chat, by the way. Here we go. He says here, I'm bopping to that nitty gritty theme song. You know, that joint was kind of catchy, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Y'all body that. Go ahead, Wayne. Tell them where that came from, man. Come on.
Hey, man, look, you know, it's nitty gritty Niner talk. Shout out to Fair, the crew. The song is dope. It is what it is, but we appreciate you, Gavin. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Nighthawk Afterburner super sticker. I don't even know what that means.
He gave a super sticker instead of a chat, so you could give stickers as well. But thank you for the super sticker.
Oh, my daughter loves stickers. Jax is in the building. She says bullshit.
Yo, hold on. We gotta. That is the dopest meme. Like that is the one. That kid is gonna turn 40 one day, and that, you know how we talk about,
and it's still gonna be hot.
Right.
That is it.
He done made his mom and dad so much money.
I hope
by
he
simply
did.
saying bullshit.
Bullshit. Go ahead, Mike.
Jack says here, bullshit is what it is. Update prediction: 5-12. You give QB2 to a go-seer. Trey is gonna be okay. On his profile on IG, it says a child of God. He will be just fine. Fair.
Isn't that his tattoo? I remember he got that tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Talk about it, Fair.
Can we flip that record?
Yeah, I don't.
We're gonna flip the record.
I'm
We're
sure
gonna flip the record to 12-5. Right.
I could dig 12.
I get you, and I love you, Jax. Yeah, let's flip that record, and just know I agree as far as you know, it being bullshit and what we're seeing. But you know, again, the race was already stacked against them. But there ain't no way with this roster we're going 5-2. Not happening.
Everybody running the 100-man reader, and my man got hurdles on his track though. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Cornelio, what's going on? He said today is a sad day. Did y'all see what I titled the episode on my thing? T-5, but I put T and then I put in parentheses team. -5. Come on now. Come on now. Today is a sad day. Listen, man. I'm gonna speak, and then if anybody else can touch on it, it's sad because we all had high hopes for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Again, those high hopes didn't come because he was a black dude. Those high hopes didn't come because he was somebody who had a tattoo that we could all relate to, or a history that we could relate to. Those high hopes came because of what the team did to acquire him. They are the ones that told us we should be hopeful for him and his future and this franchise. And for him to be relegated to QB3 at what feels like nowhere, it just hits a little different. I'm sorry. It hits a little different. If anybody else wants to touch on it, being a sad day, cool. If not, we're going to keep it moving.
I'll just add to what you said, because a lot of people look at us, some people look at us and think that we know what we're talking about. But most people will just say that we're couch GMs. We don't have any experience. We've never coached an NFL team. We've never scouted a quarterback. So then that only elevates Mike's point. We have to believe what the organization tells us, right? Because they're the professionals. So if they're going to mortgage our future and trade all of these assets to get this guy, obviously they see something that we don't see. They believe in something that we have yet to believe because we haven't seen it. So if you're going to call us couch GMs, but then have an issue with us buying into the belief system of the professionals, you can't have it both ways.
Right. Exactly. Well said. Wayne, I know you said you start. Okay, we're going to keep it moving.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it's not much of a sad day. It's just a disappointing day. I feel like they failed me. Like I feel like I was lied to. I don't know if y'all could deal with lying. Bamboozled, hoodwinked. There we go. I don't know if y'all know what that feeling is like, but if I'm lied to, I can't trust you. I could try to build my trust back. The Niners, and I'm going to support the team because I'm faithful. So what I'm hoping the Niners do, and it starts with the head coach, as he has a plan that's going to help just build it back. You got to earn trust. Trust has to be earned. You do something and and that person loses trust in you, good luck, because it's up to that person to allow that trust to be built back. And so that's kind of like how I feel. Like I'm not sad, because I get it. It's business, but there's so many more proper ways you can handle business to people you claim you care about. It ain't got to always all be cutthroat. I don't fire everybody from my band because I ain't like playing with them or they had a bad day or whatever. I sit down and have a conversation with them after the fact. There's just so many different things that can be done and the proper ways they could be handled. You told this kid you believed in him, and now you're going back on your word. That's kind of the way I'm taking it. That's lying. That's reneging and spades talk. That's not cool. That's not kosher to me. So I have questions now. And I'm sorry I got questions about our head coach. I'm sorry I have questions about I'm actually not sorry.
It's real. That's real.
So that's why on my live earlier, I almost broke down in tears, because it's like, it's not because Trey is black. This could have been a quarterback that you promised that was going to do this and do that, and all of a sudden you just strip him butt booty naked because you can?
Fam, if they sold us on Mac Jones, we'd be sitting here having the same conversation.
Same conversation. Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, don't matter who it was. Good. We was having the same kind. If the roles was reversed, if we did all of this to move up for Brock Purdy, and Trey Lance was the one that we drafted Mr. Irrelevant, and we would still be like, bro, you got to give Brock an opportunity to get in there and show us what you thought you saw trading up. It would be the same thing.
Yeah. And I will say this, man, winning cures all, but we only lost, 4 games last year? It ain't about the wins and losses now. Now it's about the Super Bowl. You come out here and you win it, we're going to say, you know what? Hey,
good point, Mike. Thank you.
Y'all called it. You got it right. Wayne said earning that trust back, right? That's what they have to do now. The only way to earn, we can win 13 games. We come out the wild card and division round like it's nothing. Nobody expects the Niners to lose in those early rounds. It's NFC Championship plus. That's the standard we have here now. And we've done it with 3+ quarterbacks, time in and time out. So it's not
Mike,
about regular season wins.
I look at this comment from Crypto, and this, that when I said F Purdy earlier, I literally meant it. I've accepted that Brock Purdy is our guy, and I'm cool with that. There's nothing about me that's not cool about Brock Purdy being the dude, right? But I'm not crying about because Trey Lance is a black quarterback. That's not what I'm doing. Trey Lance wasn't given a fair fucking opportunity. So at the end of the day, that's what it should come down to. And you could say, oh, he had his opportunity, but he got hurt. No doubt. That's what happened. That's what happened. But don't tell me he's going to come out here and compete, and you're going to tell me that a guy that started 55, 56 games in his career, okay, with 90 turnovers is the guy that beat out a kid that has been in the system for 2 full seasons. That doesn't make sense to me. So, Crypto, it's not about him being black. It's not about me congratulating Brock, but this ain't about Brock. It's not about Brock. Brock's the motherfucking man. We're going to support him when he dresses and suits up week 1 against the Steelers, and his ass better find a way this team can win.
Mose and I just did the same thing. Go ahead, Peachy.
Okay. Fuck that, because we're keeping it real, and it's late as fuck, and I'm fixing to let y'all know some real knowledge. I am upset because he's a black quarterback, damn it. Just like what I put on social media, how I felt. This is a young black man that is being fucked over. These comments out here tonight have really pissed me off. And if you want to get a rise, you about to get a peachy rise, because I am tired. I'm sick and tired of this. Every time me as a black woman wants to defend a black male, and that shit about mixed, get the fuck out of here. The league looks at Trey Lance as being black.
Let me just explain something to people, Peachy, really quick before you finish, because people don't understand if your papa is black, then you black. That's the end of that. That's so we can nip that in the book.
Isn't that how we got the compensatory pick for Mike McDaniels? Who everybody
yeah, because his dad. But they don't want to have that conversation.
Okay,
anyway,
but they don't want to have that conversation.
No,
they don't want to. They don't want to remember that.
No,
of course not.
No, but they happy for the pick because we were able to get something with it.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
So my whole thing.
Who was it this year? Daryl Luter Jr.
Which they can stash.
Yeah, it's my turn. Today is not a sad day. It's an awakening day for me. That's what today is for this organization. That's what it is for me. I did cry today. I cried for a young black male that is being treated like dirt, and he's done nothing wrong. And I've heard people that have said such vile things about him, like he's a criminal or something, because he wanted to play football. Trey Lance did not make the 49ers move up to get him. He did not do that. He was available, and they took him.
All he did was enter the draft.
I am tired, sick and tired of this blaming this kid. That kid got hurt in that Seahawks game. Brock Purdy got hurt in the fucking NFC Championship game. And I've heard people say it's Trey's fault that he got hurt in the Seahawks game. Fuck that. Then it was Brock's fault that he got hurt, because you should have let the motherfucking ball go, and the O-line wouldn't have had to hold as long.
He did hold on to the ball.
And
I got the film.
And he wouldn't have Croft that had to do so much whatever after Croft is being like the fall guy or something.
I didn't need Kyle to say it. I saw it.
So my whole thing is neither one should be blamed for what happened. But if you're going to blame one, then blame the other one. Because I'm sick and tired of every time we have a black quarterback and something happens, it's their fault. I'm tired of it. So today for me was an awakening day. That's what today was. I opened my eyes to a lot of people, and I got some real people that I got to do some house cleaning for, because a lot of real emotions and real feelings about the real way that they feel about this situation awakened me so much.
And it's crazy that she even got to say that. It's crazy that she can't come out and say, I do think he's getting a raw deal because he's a black QB. Because let me tell y'all, where's Zach Wilson on that depth chart? Who
number
looked
two.
worse? He's number 2 after throwing his whole defense under the bus at the podium. He's still QB2 though, right?
Yep. Sure did throw his whole defense.
You don't hear no questions about Zach Wilson and his position on that team, right?
At all.
They went out and got Aaron Rodgers, there's still no heat on him, right? But look at the
he's still the future.
But they still selling it, right? That's Peachy's point. That's Peachy's point. This goes to what I said earlier, Wayne, on our show, our impromptu show when I was driving, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned another quarterback, Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston didn't look the way that he looked with the stats that he's had, would he be relegated so quickly to a backup, a camp body? Would that have happened the same way? I don't think so.
Nah.
How many chances did Sam Darnold get? How many chances did what was my man's name with the
He got
Vikings?
another chance here.
Right. What was the other dude's
here.
name with the Vikings? The other with the Rams. He went. What was his name? Sam something.
Sam Bradford.
Come on, bro.
He got
Come on,
guaranteed.
bro.
He's still getting paid.
Come on,
Fucking
bro.
Carson Wentz was
Come on, bro.
literally put out there as
Carson-
a locker room cancer.
And still got his head
And
starting
still,
job.
and it would not surprise me if he didn't get another one if something happened to one of these starting quarterbacks.
And he was a locker room cancer.
Yes.
Every stop he went to.
Everyone.
Hey.
And even when shout out to one of my homies who's a Commanders fan. Even when he tried to say, "Well, I'm gonna give him a shot. Maybe he learned his lesson." He even said, "Yup, he came here and he did the same thing that he did with the Eagles, did the same thing that he did with the Colts. He was a locker room cancer. He didn't get along with anybody in the locker room. He is who he is. Yet."
And I never heard anybody say he's not intelligent enough.
Nope.
I never heard anybody try to say he went to a D2 school or a D3 school. Trey Lance and Carson Wentz went to the same fucking
Same
school.
college.
And they are not D2 or D3 schools. Cut the shit.
Can I add this in? I'm hoping Trey Lance is traded, and I'm hoping he goes to another team. But when do we still hold this team accountable for fucking up that draft? So can we have that? That's the conversation then. So because
I pulled it up, and like you said, you don't even want to hear the quarterbacks. Listen to the names that went in this draft after we pick at 3: Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain II, Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater,
holy shit,
that's
Christian Darrisaw, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Landon
about
Dickerson,
5 of those names you just
Javon
mentioned.
Holland, Javonte Williams, Tevin Jenkins. I'll keep going.
9 of those was after we were at our original pick. We didn't have to move up.
We could have stayed at 12.
For 9 of those dudes. That's where the issue I think we mostly
We could
upset
have
about.
stayed at 12.
We got to get to these super chats, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
All right. I'm back to reading. I'm sorry. My bad. Jack is back in the building. She says here, you better say that, Mose. Kyle didn't like it. I don't know what she was talking about no more. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say she was right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack, for that super chat.
Appreciate you.
Mook is in the building. Salute to Wayne Breezy and the panel. Kyle handled this whole situation bad from the start. Sam should have been the third option from jump. He's Ryan Leaf at best. Now, I'm going to say, I'm you know what? Let me shut up. I'm going to pass this to Peachy. I'm going to pass this to Peachy because I'm going to shut up and then I'm going to, I'll touch on it afterwards.
Salute to Mook. Yes, Kyle handled this whole situation bad from start. We've spent a lot of time discussing how this whole entire thing is just jacked up completely. Sam Darnold should have been a third option. Yeah, he absolutely should have been. It should have just been Brock, Trey, and Sam. And that should have just been all there was to it, is what it should have been. If you're going to have him in here and whatever. One, it wasn't even a competition in the first place. And so it just should have been set, which is why people now believe that it was always going to be Sam Darnold at quarterback too, regardless, like that, like from the jump, like when he got here, like that's what he was basically told, that was the plan, because this dude is not out here practicing or even in games and looking like a quarterback too. He's not. And so that's going to be real interesting. What happens if we need this quarterback too to go out there and play half a season or whatever, to do that. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts is not a myth. Like it literally happened. They couldn't tell what he was looking at, what he was throwing at. His coach would ask him, "What are you looking at? What's going on?" This dude froze up so bad out there that they had to take him off the field. You guys are not remember that? He froze. And I'm just, it aggravates me so bad. But as far as the Ryan Leaf comment, I don't know. Ryan Leaf, in my opinion, might be a little better.
Oh shit.
That's my opinion.
Next super chat. Cornelio. He says here, Matt Ryan pushed the ball down the field.
And they lost the Super Bowl, Cornelio, because I don't think Kyle Shanahan liked it. I was waiting for that comment. I think that was against Kyle Shanahan's plan, and Kyle Shanahan sabotaged that shit. And because he knew he was getting a head coaching job.
Because he got too conservative. And,
I'm just saying,
and stopped your offense from doing what they were supposed to do when they was up 28-3.
Okay.
He deliberately went conservative.
I think Sam Darnold was going off script. Shit happens.
Matt Ryan. Yep, I'm there.
I agree with you.
But we didn't know that then,
right?
Because we didn't know Kyle Shanahan was that narcissistic.
Correct.
Facts.
But now that we know who our head coach is, that's why I feel comfortable saying that.
Right.
That's why I feel comfortable saying it. We're gonna speed this up.
All right.
Nina Cali Boy says, explain the cowardly shit they did, sending Fred and Javon to take the heat after breaking the news today. Listen, I've been bowling. I missed all of this. I had no idea what y'all were talking about. So one more time, the story is that
they
announced that
John Lynch was gonna speak, and it was there. And I remember signing in at the 15-minute mark, right? So then I went live on Instagram. That's where I almost broke down and cried. Then all of a sudden it's Fred Warner. They switched the thing from public to private, and then it was just for the 49er media beat writers. So they were trying to do damage control. The Niners were trying to do damage control, and they threw, to me, it seemed like they just kind of threw Fred under the bus because apparently the players didn't know why Trey Lance wasn't at practice.
I have a question. What time did this happen? Was this after we spoke? This had to be after we spoke.
This was after we spoke because I had this was right before 8:30. No, that's not that late. When did I go live? I went live. I don't remember. I got to check my Instagram. But this was after we
spoke.
Not that far from after we did our show.
I mean, we did our show at 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, so it was around 5 something.
It was.
Yeah. Yo.
Swing,
all
batter,
my
batter,
bells and
swing.
whistles going off. Wayne, I said, they only keep you out of practice if there's a trade. I think a trade fell through. I think John Lynch was supposed to be addressing the media because they thought they had a trade for Trey Lance.
And it didn't go through?
And that somebody backed out somewhere, couldn't agree on compensation, and they said, you know what, never mind. Let's just send the players out to the podium. And
That's
John Lynch never showed up. Y'all telling me the headline said John Lynch addresses the media?
Yes.
Yeah.
It says John Lynch and players speak to the media.
Yes, that's what
we
it said.
got no John Lynch.
Yeah. I think a trade fell through today. That is insane. All right, I'll do the conspiracy theory shit later on. All right, what's the next one? Nina Cali Boy, thanks for the super chat. We appreciate it. SFC the school. He says here, natural ability and talent is never programmed. It's nurtured and enhanced, not programmed. We are yet to see the best of number 5.
I don't think we'll ever see it.
Fair, what you think, man? This is a good comment right here. I like this.
I mean, I agree. I don't think that we've seen the best of 5. I don't think that, we were properly managed this talent that we have. And you really do have to make sure that you're nurturing it the right way. You have to really make sure that you're coaching that player up. And I don't think that he really had that opportunity. I think last year was that opportunity for him. He got hurt and they wrote it off after that. Once they saw, what they had in Brock. So it's definitely the end of, I think, Trey's era here, but I don't think it's the end of Trey at all.
Well said. I like that, Fair. Thank you very much. All right, Bailey is in the building. Thank you again for the super chat. He says the problem is that Shanahan is giving up on Lance after not only trading 3 first-rounders for him, but the way the board fell. If we didn't trade up, we could have drafted Micah Parsons. And again, Mose, I'll give this to you because Mose already ran down the list of names that were there for the people. But I think everybody here would agree. If you feel like running down on it again, Mose.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we didn't take Lance at 3, maybe somebody else would have jumped into that spot. But looking at this draft class now, this was a pretty stacked class. So even if we didn't get Micah Parsons, you think about the offensive line troubles that, maybe not troubles, but the offensive line issues. We knew that we weren't going to keep Mike McGlinchey past that 50. We knew we were going to let him test free agency. Yeah. Rashawn Slater's on the board. Christian Darasol's on the board. Elijah Vera Tucker's on the board. You want to get corner so you don't have to go out and sign Charvarius Ward? Patrick Surtain is on the board. J.C. Horn is on the board. So, yeah, maybe if you trade up, you go up to 6. You go up to 7. Penei Sewell's on the board. If you want a quarterback, Justin Fields was at 11. So maybe you hop the Bears and you trade up with the Eagles and go to 10 and you get that guy. Like, there are so many marquee names. Pitts, Chase, Sewell, Surtain, Parsons, Slater, all Pro Bowlers.
Right.
So we could have sat at 12. And what do they say about the draft most years anyway?
Like
you draft BPA.
Yeah.
BPA, best player available.
Yeah.
And we could have
had something move up. Don't usually do well.
And then somebody else said that if we didn't mortgage the future, we could have drafted people in other drafts. So let's just take a look at 2022.
Jesus.
No. Well, our draft
not.
Our draft pick in draft.
Yeah, our draft pick in 2022 would have been 29. Yep. At 29, the Patriots take Cole Strange. Decent enough offensive guard. After that, George Karlaftis, Daxton Hill, Christian Watson, Breece Hall, Jalen Petrie, Kyler Gordon, Kenneth Walker III. We could have made sure that Seattle didn't get him. Jaquan Brisker, Alante Taylor, Cam Jurgens, George Pickens, who's shaping up to be a monster. Sky Moore, who won a Super Bowl with Kansas City. There's names after that we could have got in subsequent drafts. Or if we wanted to package and move up if we wanted to, who's in that draft? Let's see. Tyler Linderbaum, Tyler Smith, who's become an outstanding tackle for the Dallas Cowboys, Trent McDuffie, Zion Johnson, Jahan Dotson, Kyle Hamilton, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Evan Neal. Come on, like that, and that is why we are so invested, because of what potential we could have had on this team, drafting best player available. We're talking about the lack of depth now. Yes, we got a bunch of stars. We got the McCaffreys and the Trent Williams and the Deebo Samuels and the Fred Warners and the Nick Bosas. We got a bunch of stars. But we've also lost our depth because we have not been able to replenish it year after year after year in the draft. And we're taking a lot of swings and misses. And some players are working out later in the 4th and the 5th round. We love the 5th round, but some players aren't, and we got to keep it a buck. So that's also, too, you sold us on the potential of this kid, trading all of this stuff up. So now to just get rid of them and just throw them away, you also throw away the potential in other drafts that we could have had on this team.
Absolutely wild. Well said. All right, let's keep it moving here.
Awesome.
We're gonna try to speed this up a little bit. Q, thank you for the super chat. That's me. Hi, Mike Andrews. All right, Javier in the building. What's going on? It says here, I feel bad for the kid. Didn't get a fair chance. At the end of the day, the kid needs live reps. I don't think he can get it here in a win now roster, but all the pressure on Kyle. He better be right. The clock is ticking now. I don't even know who won it.
Nobody has to take that, man. That's a statement right there.
Yeah.
It's not a question. Only for questions, man. Like,
okay. Woohoo! Congrats. This show is fire.
Fernando.
Where has Lynch been since to talk about Trey? Apparently, he's supposed to speak today. Also, If this team is in a now win mode, then why trade 3 picks to go get him? Fans might boom Darnold. Oh, might boo. They might boo Darnold on Friday's game.
I boom him too if he throw a pick.
I think I would temper, the
Temper
boos.
expectations.
Yeah, like temper them down. I wouldn't boo him. I can't control fans. So they're gonna do what they want, but I wouldn't boo him. But if he starts to look like not what we expect him to look like, I think the boos need to go more toward that organization. I know Sam won't know that, but I think it's time for us to start, holding the organization accountable, man. Because at the end of the day, we invest time, money, energy, and you don't get none of that shit back. So at the end of the day, we help take care of their organization, and they owe us, literally. You could say they don't owe the fans. Nah, they do. And they know it. Yeah. They don't care about us, but they owe us. So at the end of the day, they need to figure it out, because without us, y'all saw COVID. They did everything in their possibility to get fans in the building. They had fans. You had diehard fans buying fucking cutouts to stick in the stadiums, bruh.
So it could look like they were there.
And then they fabricated sound noise. Football was boring. I know, because the players said that shit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, from their mouths. Right.
So without us, there is no football.
That was well said, man. And by the way, I want to make something else clear real quick. Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Brandon Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo, none of them are at fault here. Those guys are names on a roster. They're the ones being manipulated and pushed into certain positions by the coaching staff and the front office. So be very clear. It's not about booing anybody. They just here to do a job, including Trey Lance, including all those people. They're just here to do a job. And when their number's called, they got to be ready and got to pick up and go.
That's it, Mike.
Cornelio says, I love you, Breezy.
I love you too, Cornelio. I do. Let me read this one, Mike, because, you could read it, but this is the first time Black Bruce Wayne has given a super chat, so I wanted to give him the air horn and the foghorn for touching down on the channel. We appreciate you, Black Bruce Wayne. Mike, go ahead and take it away.
QB wasn't the issue. It was always bad offensive line. Kyle thought getting a dual threat QB, he didn't say QB, would help the bad offensive line play.
Possible, maybe, and maybe that was part of the false assessment of Kyle Shanahan. Maybe they thought Trey Lance was more of a dual threat at running, and they tried to run him, and it wasn't it's not what they thought. You know what I'm saying? So that's possible, but the O-line, I feel like for this particular offense isn't built like any other offensive line in football, yo. This offensive line isn't asked to block that like other majority offensive lines are for pass protection. The quarterbacks got to get the ball out their hand quick. It's all rhythm based, and if it's not in that rhythm, if quarterbacks are holding onto the ball, it's going to fabricate more sacks. Jimmy's issue was he was trying to not dial up the plays. He just sucked in the pocket. Like, he just wasn't good, right? But we saw at one point when Jimmy was using that quick processing, once these defenses started playing 8 in the box, it confused the hell out of Jimmy. He didn't know what to do with the football because they were no longer fearing the run. That was the issue. I'm afraid that teams will do that again with Brock Purdy. That's my only thing I'm worried about.
And the pushback to that is going to be to refer to that Miami game. They sent the house at him early. And Kyle had the blitz beaters built into it, and Brock executed those blitz beaters. This is the programmable thing that we were talking about.
But again, Jimmy did that too earlier in his time, and then once teams started being more consistent with it, that's when Jimmy started to struggle with that. So I'm curious to know if more teams do it, because we saw Brock Purdy struggle a little bit. I felt like he struggled in some games. Everything wasn't peachy and creamy for Brock. So defenses might figure him out. They're going to try some different things. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I forget what network. I don't know if it was NFL Network or ESPN, but somebody put up a stat where Brock is good, intermediate and deep on the going to his right. He's good, intermediate and deep going up the middle. He's terrible, intermediate and deep going to the left.
So that
and you know who figured that out?
Cool.
The Dallas Cowboys figured that out in the playoff game, and that's when he struggled the most.
And we
were able to still win because of how our defense played and Dak Prescott throwing interceptions. But Dallas figured him out. So if you mean to tell me that other teams are not going to try to copy that formula and try to force him to look that way and go that way when he struggles going that way and take away the middle and the right side, you got to be kidding me. Somebody already said tonight this is a copycat league. And they're going to do the exact same thing that Dallas did.
And to piggyback on what you just said, I don't know if y'all remember the clip that went around. I can't remember his name at the time, but it was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. They caught him in his car riding to the game. And he said, "Oh, we gonna whoop some ass today. We got a plan." Y'all remember him yelling out his truck when he was driving? It was a clip going around social media.
I remember
man. I wish I could find
Jonathan
that.
Gannon.
Is that what his name was? It was a defensive coordinator going into that NFC Championship game.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon.
He said they had a real good plan. They were going to come after him. And look, the truth of the matter is, some teams are willing to let you go ahead and dink and dunk when they know when they know that they're sitting in the house. But we're going to hit him every time, and we're going to rattle him, and we're going to see what he does. There are some teams that are willing to go ahead and take those. Hey, if we get a penalty or two on it, that's cool.
We'll take it.
He's going to know we coming. We're going to see how he's going to react to getting hit. It's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be an interesting season. Sean Shepard says here, this was John and Jed's pick the whole time. You could tell John was lying at the first presser, saying Kyle was drawing plays on the plane. You could tell that was a Starbucks interview lie. Oh, I love coffee. BS.
A bullshit.
Sean's the greatest.
Sean with the back-to-back. Kyle never wanted him. Just like RG3 was forced on his dad in Washington, ran him in the ground.
Facts.
John is horrible in rounds 1 and 2. Plus, is a horrible liar. Same guy. Same guy that broke this said Kyle wanted Mac Jones. Truth. Kyle never liked the player.
Facts.
I just don't know that anybody can force a quarterback on Kyle. I just don't know.
I don't think so either. I mean, I know he's the GM, Mike, but Kyle still run it.
Right.
Remember Kyle Shanahan hired John Lynch. I want people to know why John Lynch is here. John picked up the phone, said, "Hey, Kyle, I'd like a shot at being your general manager." Kyle said, "Why the freak not?" That's what happened.
And people think that it was the other way around because John Lynch's hire was announced first, but what they forget is that Kyle was still in the postseason.
He was in the postseason.
Yep.
And so they couldn't announce it yet. They couldn't announce it yet. The Niners had stopped interviewing coaches, coaching candidates, and everything. They had stopped. They knew it was going to be Kyle all along, but they could announce John beforehand. So, John Lynch actually was covering the Super Bowl saying, yeah, I'm going to be taking the 49. Like, he was promoting it. Like, he knew what it was. It was already put together, man, but it's cool. But, yeah, cool. Sean again, damn, 3 back-to-back. Okay. He said, John is sorry. Gave up 3 firsts for a raw person Kyle didn't want. Second time he did it, Jimmy was the first. Plus, John couldn't get anything back for Trey because the smart GMs know or are desperate.
Probably owners.
You mean no, we're desperate?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So they can lowball us, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I like, you blame John because he's the GM, but I'm telling you, Kyle still controls this team. And that whole Jimmy Garoppolo trade, we can say that was John Lynch. Well, Kyle asked him for a quarterback, and he went and got him a quarterback.
Yeah.
And it worked until it didn't.
He's been doing it since the very first draft here, right? Oh, yeah. John Lynch went right to the podium. We had the trade back up into the third because Kyle said he really wanted Beathard, and he wasn't going to be able to sleep tonight if we didn't.
Did we blame Kyle for that, or did we blame John for that?
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. We got to be consistent.
He has been going after the quarterbacks that Kyle says he wants. That's all. All right. Earl, Big Earl, he says Fred looks sad not seeing Trey at practice, which means he believes in Trey. And look at the way his eyes closed when he was asked about Darnold. I got to go see this presser.
I got to watch it too. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I've been drafting and doing shows, so I can't wait to check it out. Thank you, Earl.
Bam Bam. First, Trent said nobody is technically competing for anything. He said, let us know. Wait,
He let us know
a week ago. Second, the Shannies took Cousins in the 3rd round after taking RG3, number 2, in the same draft. Where they do that at? Shanahan's. Shanahan's.
They different, man.
Shanahan's. Sean Shepard. Guys, again, this is Muppet John's fault.
It's John's fault at this point. It's just John's fault. It's John's fault.
Plus,
I agree.
Want to be great, Jed. Kyle said from the beginning he wanted Kurt. John got him Garoppolo. Then Kyle wanted Mac with a low.
No. You gotta say
That's
it right.
not what he said.
Garbagelo.
He said Garbagelo.
Y'all see.
You got to read it the way he wrote it, bro.
Yeah.
All right, fine. John got him Garbagelo. Then Kyle wanted Mac with a loaded team. Nope. Here's Trey. And I get it. I just, yeah, all right.
Sean is a word wizard. I swore he was gonna go with like mac, loaded mac and cheese.
That's
loaded,
what I thought he was. I was waiting for that
loaded
too.
Big Mac. I was waiting for something drastic like that.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, what's going on, man? He says here, Lance is tired of being dragged through the mud with no support. Kyle finally said something good about Lance on the day he threw up the finger. Shaking my head. This is crazy. Do you got Sean? Do you guys really think Kyle doesn't tell them what QB he wants and why? Of course he does. It's their fault. John is weak GM. The league knows it. No? Look how Belichick got over on us with Garbagelo. I'm sorry, guys. Garbagelo.
I don't think John is weak. I gotta push back. I don't think he's weak. I think he's just being micromanaged.
And I also think, go ahead, sorry.
When you're I know there's some people that can deal with being micromanaged, and then there's the other people that can't stand being micromanaged, and they'll walk away. That will be me. I can't be micromanaged. I don't care if it's in a church, school, whatever. I can't. You can't tell me to do a job and then you do the job over top of me doing the job.
Right.
You don't need me to do the job. But some people can deal with that.
I've been there on the podcasting side. I seen my man think he was getting micromanaged. Said, man, Mike, fuck this, I'm out. I ain't gonna call no names or nothing, but don't mess with his shirt deal. We got shirts lined up already. All right. Slick Niner says here, Kyle didn't show.
He left. He's gone.
I'm sorry. Kyle didn't show up the right side of the offensive line to be his scapegoat. You don't have to put the scapegoat. It's cool. But yeah, so I mean, we went through the list of excuses that's going to be coming in and out. Where the wing? We lost wing. All right, it's cool.
Can you not correct when they give super chats? Just read it. You ain't gotta give them.
So when I read it, you want me to correct it, or you want me to not correct it?
Nah, you just correct it in your head. You ain't gotta. You could be like,
you want me to read it verbatim, no matter what?
No, what I said was you should say, excuse me, I'm micromanaging you, right? But you should say scapegoat.
Okay, so I should say what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But so you ain't gotta say, you ain't gotta add the E.
Garoppolo.
You trying to make them look like they stupid. That's not
Garoppolo.
cool. No. That is you read it. You, Mike, don't even try this bullshit, Mike. Stop letting the hookah talk. What you just did was try to correct them.
Okay, all right.
Sean talks like Sean. You know that.
Yeah, Sean swing.
All right, okay.
Siri, play Drake on one.
No, don't. Not on my broadcast.
Now don't break. No. We gonna get flagged.
Stop. Go home. Turn off. Turn on the living room light. Something. All right. Next one. My bad, Slick Niner. I won't do it again, man. Fear the Great. What? Fire? What's his name?
I don't know, but Fear sounds dope. Like Fear. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
The next John Elway, Jamarcus Russell, got more starts. Led way with fuck it. Y'all read it.
The next John Elway, Jamarcus Russell, got more starts. Leeway.
I figured it out.
Even with a lean habit. Basically, what he's saying is Jamarcus Russell was heralded as the next John Elway. And even as trash as he was, them giving him a disc with the playbook on it that was blank, and he said, "Yeah, I read it." And whatever I'm not going to go to the drug habit thing. I don't know that to be true or not. But even he got more opportunity to show and prove what he was as a number 1 overall draft pick. And you knew he was bad. He didn't care about the game of football. He didn't care about his body. He didn't put effort into the game. And Trey Lance is not the player that he was, is a better player and is an even better person. So I see what he's saying, where even Jamarcus Russell got more opportunities to try to make something of his career.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I'm back. Nick Donald, what's going on? All right. I got this one. Lance and his agent lost respect for Kyle after Kyle's response to the jackhammer question on how the media is treating Lance.
Good take.
Ding. Thanks. Statement. Yeah. I like it. Shout out to FedEx too. Great 16765 says, this deeper than football. TL and SD have the same. Okay, Trey Lance and Sam Darnold have the same agent. Why his agent bringing another QB to compete with him? Real suspect.
I didn't know they had the same agent.
He need to hire a brother.
What? Wait a minute.
I didn't know that they had the same agent.
Well, head I know it's the theory.
I know it's the agent's job to get the player paid.
Yeah.
But this brings up a really good conspiracy, because why would you send Sam Darnold to a team where you know Trey Lance is?
Yeah.
Unless
you know that you
John or Kyle or someone else in the organization that may have a connection with his agent said, look, we got a spot for Sam. Now, I know Trey is here, and that's your agent too. So we want to give you as much time as you need to finesse what you can. Put some feelers out. See what the notion is. So we giving you that heads up now that we want to bring Sam in because we feel like he's a better fit. And you try to see what you can finesse with Trey. We'll do what we can to kind of push up his value. But we're giving you so much leeway, so much time to kind of figure out. I mean, this is all speculative. It's all speculative.
Of course.
But this great one brings up a great point. I'm not gonna send one of my clients into the same situation that I already have another client. My client's there, he's thriving, he has an opportunity to compete. Let me send you somewhere else where you also have an opportunity to compete.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Sketchy.
Justin back in the building. Has Kyle and Lynch lived up to the gold standard?
I don't even know what the gold standard is anymore, yo.
Man, I'm gonna say yes. I will give them this. Man. We've had so many quarterback injuries, and we are still competitive. Game in, game out, and we make deep playoff push. I don't know the last time the Niners were bounced in the first round. It hasn't happened with this regime, so I will give them some. Now, according to Jed York, the standard is Super Bowl banners, not NFC West, not NFC Championship banners. It's Super Bowl standards, but that's Jed York's standard. What the gold standard is, I don't know. I can't speak on it. Mo's just got an epiphany over there. What's happening?
Trey Lance and Sam Darnold are with CAA, Creative Arts Agency. That's one of the biggest talent agencies. Somebody at this agency got connects within the 49er organization.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. This is all fabricated, man.
As far as this right here with the gold standard, I think that with this regime, we have been like that, except for the COVID year. And that's just an outlier. But, we did have teams that, we still had, the playoffs and stuff, even in the COVID year. So I'm just saying. But I don't know. For the most part, I guess they have. But I still feel like that this team should win the Super Bowl in order for them to really be at the gold standard.
But then that's not the standard. Like, the standard is win or go home in the discussion.
Right.
But then that's not the gold standard. Everybody has that standard when the season starts.
So what? That could be the gold standard. Why can't that be the gold standard? That could be the gold standard, the red standard, the blue fucking standard, the yellow standard, everybody's standard. That should be our standard.
So
Like,
if the question is, have they won a Super Bowl? Then no. I don't think that's what. I don't know.
I don't even, like I said, you show me what the gold standard is. Did you make that up? Did somebody make that up? Did the team make it up? Show me where it is, because I can't give a definitive answer on what the gold standard is. But my gold standard, you can't tell me we got this good ass team and we can't win nothing. So at the end of the day, we should be finding a way. We should be winning. Period.
I feel you. I agree.
Another. This is a first time giver right here on the channel. So shout out to Maurice Perry. You didn't say anything in the super chat, so I'm not sure what you're trying to do. But if
I know what he wanted to say. He actually texted me. He texted me. He was like, yo, Mike, you've been right about everything you've ever said on any podcast.
Especially when you're smoking hookah on air.
Hey, boom. There it is right there. He's just a friend. Why you tripping? Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, that's
you say he's just a friend.
That's where I was going with it.
You say he's just a friend.
Oh, baby.
Oh, let's go. All right. Trey don't got what he need.
Oh, I thought you were about to kick a freestyle.
My bad. CJ says here, feels the same way when Trey went down week 2. Seeing so-called Niners fans celebrating Trey leaving, calling him a bust, it's fucking weird. Kid got a tough break, and I wish him the best. Hashtag faithful to the Bay.
How is any player in the NFL or any sport a bust if they haven't played?
Like you said, it's fucking weird.
They could be injury prone. They could be what if it's due to injuries, maybe that's it. But you can't call him a bust if the team didn't give him the opportunity to go out there and prove himself. You can't tell me a player can prove themselves in a matter of 6 non-consecutive games. So Brock Purdy did it because he had the opportunity to do it week in and week out. Like, Trey didn't have that opportunity. Rookie year, he came in, he started for Jimmy Garoppolo because he was injured. Jimmy was like, nah, fuck that, I'll be back next week. And was trash against the fucking Colts. Don't tell me Jimmy was back. He was healthy.
He got mugged, that's him.
Man, I don't get the bus talk. Like, that y'all gotta miss me with that. Like, if Trey Lance plays a full season and in camp and is bad and sucks and is trash, now we can start the bus talk.
I'll tell you this, from his limited reps, his limited time, preseason, regular season, he literally got better as the games went on.
He's a slow progressor.
So, Justin's back in the building. He says Lance on Dallas versus Brock on the Niners. Who wins? Y'all got this. I'm saying Niners because I'm a Niner.
We always beat Dallas. Don't matter who plays, who the quarterbacks are. We always beat Dallas.
That question's for Mose. Now I dare you. Now I dare you to say you want Lance to win. Now what? Put Mose in the big screen. No. Don't say shit yet. Put Mose.
I'll put myself on the big screen.
I dare you.
I dare you. In the words of Auntie Nene Leaks, I said what I said.
Atlanta Housewives.
No. Say the statement, because some people ain't gonna catch that reference. Fuck that.
As long as this is not in the playoffs.
That's not what you said, you motherfucker.
Yes, I did. Rewind it back. Yes, I did. Thank you, Fair. Yes, I did. As long as it's not the playoffs, because the playoffs helps us get to the Super Bowl.
Well, this is not the playoffs.
If this is a regular season game, I hope Trey Lance dot us up and have Kyle Shanahan on the sideline with the stupid face.
As long as we win the game, though, right?
No. I hope he carve us up and we lose. It's regular season. We can lose one. We started slow the past 18 and a half years.
I hope he throw that shit right to Fred and Fred house it and stiff arm his ass to the ground. If he on the other team, he a op. He a op if he on the other team.
Can y'all see my phone?
Yep.
I mean, we can see your phone. We
What's
don't
that
know what to say. You blocked him?
Fuck
You
out
about
of
to
here.
block
Talking about some
Mose?
Cowboys shit. Yeah, Mose blocked, man. He hope the Cowboys win. All right, Bam Bam, thank you for changing the subject, man. Bill Polian said Lamar Jackson needs to play wide receiver or running back. All after winning a Heisman, being a Heisman finalist, throwing for over 3,500 yards and back-to-back at Louisville. I don't ignore racial undertone. Talk your shit, Bam Bam.
It's the same
Talk
thing
your
with
shit,
Trey
Bam Bam.
Lance in college, right? In order for him to get that Division I scholarship, they wanted to make him play linebacker. They were going to convert him from playing quarterback to linebacker. And he was like, nah. Why do you think he ended up at a Division II school? He did turn down Division I-A scholarships. He sure enough did, but not to play quarterback.
Thanks.
So, again, call it what you want. Philip!
I'm sorry, my bad. I was on
got
a
it.
different window. Philip says here, don't forget a lot of Confederates. Oh, shit. I don't want to read this one.
No, you already started.
God damn it. I got to start pre-reading. Don't forget a lot of Confederates headed to Southern California after they lost the war.
You know
It
what I know
explains a
about?
lot.
You know what I know about Southern California?
It never rains?
It never
That's it.
rains in Southern California. And they tell me, that's what they tell me, but I heard it's been raining lately. But listen, I'm not even
They got a
touching the move
hurricane.
on.
Just move on.
Hurricane.
I just want to let y'all know this. North Dakota is a Division I school. I just want to
Like
let y'all know.
Double A or something. Like,
Yeah.
But
It's not the
stop
same.
calling them a D2 school.
Or a
They're not.
D3 school.
Right.
God,
I
that's
get
so
it.
annoying.
Like they never said this shit when Carson Wentz came out of there. Nobody said this shit.
It's
Nobody.
Division I. I think it's Double A, and it's an not FCS. Yeah, they're in a different
Yes, FCS. Yes, it's FCS.
FCS,
But like,
conference.
but we have to stop saying it's a D2 school.
My bad.
It's
I
just-
apologize. I didn't know I said that.
All right. Pardon my wave says, I respect the panel very much. Not just honest, but give you their real spill.
Yo, Mike, you gonna check him on his spelling, or you good?
No fair. No.
You want me to say spiel? You want me to say spiel?
No. So Mike don't even know
spill is
English.
right.
See, all right, cool. We got
Real
it.
spill is right. It's not spiel.
Yeah. So what?
Nothing. Now, Gerald.
Yeah, you
Roden.
missed it.
I want I hate y'all. I want to know everyone's honest opinion. Do you really think that Brock can be our franchise QB and take it? Go to the screen where everybody can be seen. This is a good question. Do you really think that Brock can be our franchise quarterback and can take us to the ship and win?
I'll go first. With this defense, yes. You don't have to do much. You don't have to do much. There's more than enough weapons. There's more than enough weapons.
But does that make him a franchise quarterback? The whole purpose of being a franchise quarterback is you got to get your team and you got to do much, period.
So take it, both combined remains to be seen. I think we can win the ship this year, though.
I think we could win the ship, but does that make him a franchise quarterback?
No, it don't make him a franchise QB, and that may take some showing. You know what I mean? You have to do it for a couple seasons for us to lock that in. No,
well, shit. I mean, I
Y'all
would
just gonna
think
throw
you
the
gotta
franchise tag on anybody.
I would think you gotta have more than 6 games played before a team walk away from you. But apparently, that ain't how the Niners do it.
I get that too, right? I get that, but we're just talking about Brock right now, right? I think that Brock has that potential. Yes.
You think Brock Purdy has the potential to be a franchise quarterback? Can we define franchise quarterback real quick?
Sure.
The putting the team behind this one quarterback and not looking for other alternatives.
Yeah, because of their ability to win under any circumstance, their ability to get the team over the hump, stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into what franchise quarterbacks can do.
Let me tell y'all my personal interpretation of franchise quarterback. Y'all can disagree, right? But let me be clear. There's only a handful of franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. A franchise quarterback is a quarterback that's expected to win despite his skill sets are the skill players around him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
When Tyreek Hill left Kansas City,
there was no drop off.
they were still expected to win. No. There could have been a drop off. They
There
might
was
not
a
score as
drop
many
off
points per game, but they're still expected to go out there and get those wins, right? When the Niners contracts start to expire and George Kittle's not here, and Debo's getting old, and Brandon Ayuk's not here because we couldn't afford him after we paid Nick Bosa, right? When all of those big name players aren't here, and Christian McCaffrey, is Brock Purdy going to take this team full of rookies or second-year players over the hump offensively? That's what a franchise quarterback is.
Jury's still out for me.
I respect that answer.
I need to see more.
I just want to address this comment because he says Purdy's Super Bowl win doesn't qualify, LOL. Because Fair said with this defense, the way he started his statement was with this defense, he believes we can win with Brock Purdy. So
the second half of the question is the stamp it with a yes for me.
Right, but my point is, if you clarify that the defense is the reason, then Purdy's not getting that Super Bowl win. Now,
Trent Dilfer.
That's a game.
Yeah, don't nobody remember him, and the only reason why they remember that he won is because of that Ravens defense, and
that's okay because he got a Super Bowl ring.
Now, I do believe,
but he's not a franchise quarterback.
No, that's my point.
Right.
I do believe that Brock Purdy is better than Trent Dilfer.
He's way better than Trent. I felt like Brock had a franchise quarterback game that Peachy and I attended in Las Vegas because I felt like the defense was gas, trash, you name it. And I felt like Brock made plays that franchise quarterbacks have to do. Is the potential there to be that?
That's what I said.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that's why I said I respect Fair's response when I gave my definition. He said it remains to be seen because you got to do that consistently now.
That's
what a franchise.
Well, I was going to try to say that, but yeah, that's it.
Sorry,
that's where I was getting to.
Go ahead. You can read this one. See, I pre-read this time.
Of course I can because you tired of reading Sean's comments. John's nickname among GMs. I'm not reading this one.
Oh no,
John's no, Breezy. This is your comment.
If any comment is a Breezy comment, it's this one. Don't try to shy away from it.
I would never say anything like this.
What's his name? What's John's nickname?
Bend over.
It's funny because I knew what he was going to say, and it was still funny. That's crazy.
I'm done,
Sean for president, bro.
How many more we got?
Man.
God dang.
This last one.
This is it.
To God be the glory, because I'm tired.
Me too.
Sid Brown says, and I quote, Kyle and John chose win now over developing Trey.
This is the
that
realest.
sentence by itself.
This is the realest quote ever. Yeah, this is it.
That sentence by itself. It's factual. It's not emotional.
Right.
This sentence is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they win that bet. If they don't, both should be fired. Miss me with Purdy can win with the rebuilding squad. Cap cometh. Fam. Somebody ring a bell, play an alarm.
That's my blood right there.
Ding, ding,
Bro,
ding, ding, ding.
What?
Thank you,
That's
Sid,
my
for
blood
this
right
comment.
there.
That answered the franchise quarterback question. That answers why
That's right.
Trey is getting the treatment that he's getting right now.
Yes.
Like this right here summed up the whole
thing.
He just answered 3 years of football for us. Right here. They drafted a guy and didn't want to develop him.
But it doesn't answer anything. It doesn't answer the question. Like, you still drafted him. So, you were already in win now mode. With Jimmy Garoppolo, you were in win now mode. The team was built. So, they just made a mistake and just own that you made the mistake. Yo, it's okay to say, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and keep it moving, bro. It's okay.
Not when you're narcissistic.
Bro, it's okay. It's even narcissistic. I'm probably narcissistic, but when I'm wrong and I feel it, when I know I'm wrong or I feel like I could be wrong, I go to the person, I think about what I said and how I said it, and I give them an apology because I probably was. But that's my point. We're never going to get that from John.
They don't in that business. That's already been proven time and time again.
But
they don't.
But you know why they don't have to apologize yet? This is gonna sound like a cop out, because if they go out and win, then they were right. This is
winning
a
cures all.
Based
they were right.
business.
They were
This is a
right.
result.
Winning cures all, and they only got to get one to be right. They only got to
That's
get
it.
one.
They only got to get one.
Was Sean McVay and the Rams right to trade away all those first round draft picks for that Super Bowl?
Yep, because they got it.
Because they got it.
Because they got it.
And Rams fans will still tell you to the day, "Oh, we
There's
won
some
one."
probably in the chat right now.
We
There's
won
some
one.
in the chat.
That's it.
Jalen Ramsey gone. We don't know if Cooper Kupp going to come back healthy. Aaron Donald is on the decline. They don't have no offensive line.
Yeah, that one makes
Matthew
me sick. I ain't
Stafford
gonna lie.
also on the decline. But guess what? We got one a couple years ago.
That's right.
And we
That's
beat
the
y'all
one.
to get there.
Yeah, they did. Yo, that one make me sick because that was ours. That was
It
ours.
was.
They took that one from us.
It was.
I give them their props when they say that. Because they did.
I just want to know from Mr. Josiah, how does Trey step up if he's not giving practice ain't it. That ain't it. You could practice, you could be the best practice player out there and not be granted the opportunity until something happens. So how does Trey step up if he's not given the opportunity to show what he can do? Don't give me the preseason game. All that shit's bullshit anyway. It's all vanilla defense.
Mm-hmm.
I got the next super chat. I see it.
So just explain to me, Mr. Josiah. You don't even got to give a super chat, fam. I want to know, how does he step up if he's not given the opportunity? Because clearly he's practicing better. He's practicing well. He looks good in practice, but that ain't enough.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he step up?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it possible? Is it possible that Kyle really did see something during those joint practices that made him realize Trey wasn't the guy? Honestly, I'm not
during the joint practices against the Raiders.
He said 10 days ago, right?
He said 10 days ago.
I'm sincerely asking.
But how can you evaluate him properly when the offensive line was terrible in practice? So what happened during the game was just a culmination of what the precursor was, because in practice
it was bad.
They whooped our ass up front.
They were the more aggressive team.
They dog walked us every day in them joint practices. So how can you properly evaluate that?
But and Kyle went to the podium and was asked about that, and he said there's going to be games where the offensive line can't hold up. You still got to find a way to play. I'm just saying, is it possible? Y'all said it. Kyle said he values the joint practices more than the preseason games, right? So I'm just asking.
Well, that's what he said.
Possible
So
that he
we
saw
going off
something?
what he said. Maybe he lying still. I don't believe
I
anything
mean,
that comes out of
based
his
on
mouth.
based on what you're saying is possible, but what did he see from Sam Darnold that was better than Trey Lance in those same joint practices behind the same offensive line that couldn't block nobody for shit?
Same thing we saw when we turned on the game film. Darnold was getting rid of the ball faster, and Trey was hesitant.
I think that's
I'm just saying. Maybe that was the decision making.
I think that's where he made up his mind that we're not gonna continue to move on with Trey, or we don't mind keeping him here, but we're not gonna continue to find time or places for him to develop. He's gonna have to figure it out.
Right. Back to Sid's response. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so
this right here, I saw. I don't have any more like screaming fighting me left, but we're not the only ones that care about Trey getting cut or traded, because if that was the case, then X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and national media and everything wouldn't have been booming so much today if that was the case. Just,
this is on NFL
just letting
Network.
you know.
I was
You
driving.
can flip on anything. You can flip on anything. Yahoo Sports has an article out now about the 5 teams that either have inquired about Trey or something like that. So everyone cares about the situation. You know why? Because this is the San Francisco 49ers. And every single team and every single media outlet cares about the 49ers. That's why no matter whether it's Colin Cowherd on FS1 or if you go over to Get Up on ESPN or whatever, they're talking about the 49ers in some form or fashion.
Yeah. Let's click on Bleacher Report. Top news: Messi assists for the equalizer. Judge helps end Yankees 9-game skid, and Shanahan wants Lance on 49ers. Third.
Yeah.
So no, it isn't just us. National media.
ESPN NFL top headline source: Colts field Taylor offers as deadline nears. Number 2, 49ers Darnold wins QB2 battle. Lance in limbo. Second headline.
Oh, sorry, 187. We love you, and we don't want you to 187. None of us.
Idea. It's late. It's like almost 1 o'clock.
And you
like,
don't stop because it's 187
on an undercover car.
So I apologize, 187. I didn't realize what you were doing on there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to these super chats. Cause
wait, there's more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
still
came in late.
Okay, the next one we got is this
Great
I
one.
believe. Great one.
So what did OJ do? Did I miss something?
No.
OJ
Don't ask that
did it.
question.
No. Okay, oh, my bad. I fed into it. OJ probably put out a video talking about Trey Lance because he is one person that does not. He did?
Wait.
I'm about to say, because I'm about to pull
I
it
don't
up.
know whether it's
no,
a
but
new
who did he
one,
put
but I
the
know
video
that he
out
did
about? I remember.
a while ago.
Who was it that he did a video about the other like a week ago?
It was somebody, I can't remember who it was.
Yo, OJ, wow.
He's
it was somebody that committed a crime, and he was like, he did it.
The Raiders do. Henry Ruggs.
Yes, it was about Henry
Yes,
Ruggs.
it was.
Nah,
They was
OJ.
He's talking about the punishment being too lenient.
He said it was too lenient.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, man, the glove didn't fit. So
Wait,
but I will say.
do you hear that? Did y'all hear the conspiracy that OJ really didn't do it?
Don't do that.
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
He didn't do it. Ain't no
because
conspiracy.
the conspiracy is that he didn't do it. It was actually his son that did it because he didn't like Nicole, and the whole high speed chase was to give time for his son to get away, and that's why when he went to trial, the glove didn't fit because it wasn't his glove, it was his son's.
Look at what this comment did. Great one. Get your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shit.
Listen, that was on TikTok. My wife sent me that on TikTok, so that makes sense.
I got this. I know what he's supposed to say too. Niners gave away all them picks and more. No Super Bowl. That was our Rams comment. That was going back to our Rams comment.
Yep.
Justin, you right, man. When you right, you right.
That's right.
The only throwing. Wait,
Trey.
I'm sorry, Trey.
Yo, Mike, that who could be fucking up your eyes?
I was trying to pre-read.
So you was trying to pre-read and read at the same damn time.
You told me to know what they supposed to be saying, not what they saying, right?
But there's Trey, bro. When you get the, man, it's not even an H, bro.
I said
they, there's still not an H. At the end of the day, there's no H. Don't try to read over me because you can't read.
Call a game.
This is why he has me read on NBA. He makes me do all the reading.
This is what happens when you do a 3-hour show.
The trouble.
This is what happens when you do a 3-hour show. This is it.
Nobody knows my sorrow.
Swing low, sweet chariot. Trey is about to go home.
I swear I got an Amber Alert for Trey when I was out bowling today, man. I swear I did. I'm sorry. All right. Trey only throwing 5 to 8 times a day versus the Raiders. Find a way to play. Call a game to help win.
Which is against the Broncos. They put him in, and he got the win.
He did.
They put him in, and he got the win. Like, at the end of the day. And not one fan was complaining because everybody wants the 49ers to not lose.
That's right.
Don't matter if it's preseason or not.
It doesn't matter. Because we cried about getting our ass whipped, mollywop by the Raiders.
Yes.
Sure did.
Yep.
But
I can't.
Preseason don't
I'm
count.
not.
Preseason don't count. All right. Sean.
Go ahead, Breezy. This year.
Hell no, this ain't mine. I read the last one.
This ain't.
Pendejo.
He spelled it wrong. He spelled it all the way wrong.
No.
Y'all gotta keep the shit for real. Now, when I correct I get called out.
He spelled it all the way wrong, but the fact that we knew what he was talking about.
Oh, but look.
It ain't an H at the beginning of the day either.
Sean for president, yo.
Nah, I need a translation. What does this one mean? I'm stupid. It's the hookah and the wine. I don't know what's it. What is it? It ain't an H at the beginning. What? See? All y'all stumped. Don't try to act like it's just the hookah. What the fuck y'all smoking over there now? See that? You read that one with no problem, right? No, fair. Bring your.
I read it. Just because I read it didn't mean I understood the shit. I have zero problems reading. You have problems reading because you're trying to understand the reading when you read it.
Interpret.
I didn't ask you that. I just said
you're trying to pre-read and read at the same time.
Talking about
where the Google Translator at? I typed this in there and it said question marks.
No, let's get to this one, man. I can't. CJ, much love to y'all for keeping it real. Love it. And that's what this show was about, man. Like, I know everybody's like, we not, blah, 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 blah. We came on here to vent because where else can you have a show with a great panel? Shout out to Zach. Shout out to my man Mike, the Nitty Gritty crew, where you could just be yourself and freaking vent for over 3 hours. We listened to y'all in the chat. Y'all gave super chats. We highlighted y'all. Like, this is the platform that you're going to want to be on every single week. You think this shit was crazy? Wait till the season starts. You haven't seen nothing yet. Don't let us lose a game. We bombing every fucking body.
Facts. Just getting crazy.
Y'all.
Mike, before I give it to Mike's going to close us out. Mike's going to take us home. But final thoughts from the rest of the crew, man.
Go ahead, Peach.
I done said enough final thoughts. I'm good now.
Peachy, that Mike's lemonade starting to hit her kind of hard, man. She had like 2, 3, 4, 5 of them joints. She had a whole six-pack.
She had the whole 6-pack, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was waiting for Peach's bottle to get like less in
bro,
it.
She had,
every time she turned that bitch up, it was at the same.
It had more.
I said, "What is she? Is she?"
He was nursing the joint.
Never ending story.
She was cracking it, just over there, just throwing them back. I ain't mad at you, sis. I ain't mad at you.
Let me ask y'all this question before you guys do it. And Miss Debbie, thank you. We're not gonna forget the poll. I got it. I'm ending it right now. Where else can we just yell at each other, yell at the situation, curse, and then laugh to end the night? I felt like we watched a scary movie and then we finished watching a Disney movie and we good to go to bed with no nightmares. Like, that's how I feel right now. So shout out to y'all and shout out to everybody out there in the chat. Fear Mo's final thoughts. Mike, take us home, baby. Poll question. My bad.
Yeah, for those watching that know my normal background, I promise I'm not being held or held hostage anywhere. Just know that I just had to jump on real quick because I missed my family. I saw everybody up here getting crazy about this Trey situation, and I don't got work tomorrow, so it was cool to stay on until 1 at night. But yeah, I'll be back soon enough. Once my season's over, I'll be up here a little more often. Just know that. But yeah, it was great talking to y'all. I appreciate it.
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even think that.
Yo, I came off the top ropes.
I can't unthink that. Nah,
you look crazy, right?
Yeah, man. Can you get the note? You got the note?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting one saying free Trey Lance, but it ain't come out fast enough. So, yeah.
Pause. It didn't come out fast enough. Now, y'all didn't give him a pause, but if I would have said that shit, it would have been breezy.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
You reaching for that one, bro.
You know why? It didn't come out fast enough. I'm reaching.
Wayne,
you know why, right?
You
know why? Antonio Brown consistently gets cops called on him because his history.
I ain't get it, but
you got a track record. You got a
track
bro.
record. Your rap sheet long, brother.
Yeah, straight up.
Is that your nickname? Are you Paulzilla?
No, he's saying pause. You should have said pause.
No, that's a reach on that one.
Oh, man. You know, it's a reach.
So if I say that it should come out the way he said, I better get a pass.
You can't even say it. Can't even say it.
Sound right.
He said I wanted to make a freelance sign, but it didn't come out fast enough.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a pause.
Yeah,
That's
Breezy
not
would
pause
say,
worthy.
Yeah, but I didn't. But I came too quick.
All right. I'm a pause because Sid said I was reaching. Cool. All right. I'm reaching.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Mm-hmm. I know if I would have said that shit, y'all would have been like, you got to say pause, though, especially Mose. Go ahead, Mose.
I definitely would have paused you. I ain't gonna even hold you.
I wouldn't have paused you, Bree.
You wouldn't have said that was a reach.
Nah, yes, I would have. That's a reach. It didn't even fit the situation. Listen, man, we are where we are. It is what it is.
Yes.
It's unfortunate for Trey, but at the end of the day, we got a preseason game coming up on Friday, and then we got a few weeks until week 1. No matter how this shakes out, we got to get ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we got to start our season off right. No, I'm not taking it back. I want Trey to dot us up whenever we play him. I'm standing on that hill. I'm going to die on that hill.
Can somebody make a clip
as long as it's not the playoffs.
Tape,
as long as it's not the playoffs.
Hey, Fernando,
it has to be regular season. It has to be regular season.
I am hurt. I'm hurt. They treat me differently. I'm hurt.
I'm just happy Peachy's home because she looked like she over it and
she not going to work.
She just got to go to bed.
Nah,
Peachy about to hit the call out button.
Listen, what had happened was they tried to trade my quarterback, and I wasn't feeling it. I can't come in today. I need a mental health day.
I don't blame her.
I need a mental health day. That's what you do, Peachy. All right, listen. Mike, you about to close us out. Mike, Friday night, it's going to be late. I say we do it again together. This has been one of the best cross platforms we've ever had. And the engagement was phenomenal on all of the platforms that we were on. So it's going to be a late show. This was a test to see if y'all motherfuckers can stay awake because we're going to be up late Friday night.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Show might not even start to 2 a.m.
Oh shit, he talking to somebody else.
Mike, the game is from 10 to 1.
That's what Eastern?
Yes.
Where you
it's real.
Bro? You
Like
got
you
me
was
yelling
just
at
1
1
a.m.
Yeah, bro, it's real.
Like what? What? The
Don't
night
scratch
before
your
last, you
nose.
was on till
This ain't
1
got
o'clock
nothing
in
to
the
do with
morning.
hookah. You don't need this.
You know what?
Game.
It's Friday. I'm in there like swimwear, baby. Let's
Good.
go.
You ain't got
Say
no
that.
job.
I'm in
You
there.
ain't got
I'm
shit
in
to
there.
do.
And all of y'all watching better be in there too. We gonna
I'm
hold
with
it
that.
down.
Got you.
Oh shit.
She said we up. We gonna be up. Especially
Hey, Mike, chill.
Oh, I wasn't gonna leave it that.
Hey, Mike, chill out, dog. Hey, Mike.
Final thoughts.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in, Mike. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out for you, baby. Shout out to Mike, that for Niners. Zach was on here from 49ers Hive. I hope nobody caught that. All right. And at the end of the day, like Peachy left too. It is what everybody leaving. We love y'all. Stay faithful, man. Keep that shit nitty gritty, man. We out.
Breezy, Mo's Nose, Season 3, Peachy, It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We 2 gorilla silverback, 9 silver.
You know it's busting good discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.